23rd, it was the 22nd. In 2021, December 23rd, well, postponed hockey because of COVID. 2020,
I remember
COVID.
that, Justin.
2019, they actually had a game despite COVID taking over about 2 months later, and that was the memorable 8-6 game over Carolina that Ailish has no recollection of. Then in 2018, it was a Sunday night, so a 5-4 win over the Rangers. 2017, December 23rd, at Madison Square Garden, a win over the Rangers. Sorry, it was the year before was a win over the Red Wings. And then in 2016, 23rd again. So they play a lot on the 23rd, a win at Arizona.
I think I'm seeing the
trend
pattern
there
here.
is that they win all the time the last day before Christmas. So hopefully that portends good things for the Maple Leaf today because, yes, 6 times in the last 8 years, and again, they didn't play twice because of COVID. The other 2 years, they've won. So they've entered the holidays feeling real good about themselves more often than not last couple years.
I mean, there's a lot of reason to kind of just look singularly at this game. You know you're getting a couple days off. You're going to have at least 3 days off in terms of playing, a hockey game. I'm sure they get back on the ice on Boxing Day, but tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, just blank on the schedule. So why not just leave it all out there, right? You've got the home crowd. You've got the excitement of the next-gen game, an earlier start time. The only thing that can throw you off a little bit is the earlier start time. Like, most games are a 7 p.m. start when you're the Maple Leafs. So you're lucky to have that. I'm trying to think of the poor Vancouver Canucks teams. Like, they move their start time to make sure that they adhere to Eastern Standard Time. But the Leafs are lucky. They usually play most games at 7. So a 2 p.m. start changes everything. You don't have the same routine. You're not eating the same pregame meal. Your whole day is a little bit skewed, but I guess in the best way possible. You got a couple of days off, so you can just leave it all out on the ice. So I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully, that singular focus. It can be easy to be distracted. The holidays are minutes away.
I'm honestly surprised that the record is that because I'm a little distracted right now. I had to run to the mall before I came here. Got to go home.
Come
I got
on,
to wrap some
right?
gifts. Like, I got a lot of things to do.
Justin.
A day before
they just hire
Christmas.
people to do that.
They may hire people to do that, but think about, I don't know, is Austin Matthews going to Arizona? He's not playing tonight, so maybe it doesn't matter. But a lot of guys probably have things that they've got to do tonight and tomorrow, and you'd think maybe it would be getting in the way of having a real focused effort in the last game before Christmas, but evidently has not been a problem historically for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
All right, so we got some Leafs lines. You want to go through those?
Sure.
Do you have them? You want me to get them for you?
You said we, so I'm depending on you having them, but I do have them now.
Armin did send them to me.
Okay, I got them.
Hey, you go for it.
On the top line, it'll be Matthew Nyes, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner. Second line, Robertson, Domi, Nylander. So we are seeing some changes here based on what we saw last time out. McMahon, Kampf, and Pacioretty will be the third line. So Kampf, despite a pretty good game on the top line, being dropped back down into a bottom 6 role. Fourth line will have Lorentz, Holmberg, and Connor Dewar. On the blue line will be Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev. So that pairing reunites. Benoit and Timmins also reuniting. So changes basically wholesale to the blue line. A change definitely from Kampf and Tavares. Tavares playing with Marner. Nylander will try and keep the lines, the success going with Robertson and Domi. And of course, Joseph Woll will get the start over Dennis Hildeby tonight.
Interesting. I think Kampf moving down the lineup is fitting. Not that he had a bad game on Saturday. It was just, the line that he was put on was a must-produce goals line, and that's not really David Kamp's specialty. McMahon, Pacioretty, and him kind of fits more in maybe his caliber, but Nyes, Tavares, Marner, that's... I really like him in Nyes' game, so a good opportunity for him, Tavares and Marner, and then you don't have the Tavares-Nylander connection. Move to Robertson and Domi there. It's been good to see Domi get a little bit of legs back under him after getting on a hot streak. Same with Robertson, both guys kind of looking more like you would hope. And Willie being on that side, I don't know. What are your thoughts on all this?
Well, what Craig Berube started with on Saturday night clearly didn't work.
No.
Right? The third line was immediately shelled, gave up 2 quick goals. There just wasn't enough offensively out of the first line. Looked like Marner didn't really have anyone to play with. And of course, the second line was okay, but didn't have the same effect as it normally did. So yeah, eventually they changed lines. They had a lot of success in the second period. Once they changed some of those lines, it wasn't enough, clearly, but they did get the blender out and they did make some adjustments, and I thought they played better in the second half of the game. So continuing with those adjustments, probably not overly surprising, but yeah, it seemed like there was a lack of offense or a lack of at least effectiveness with the forward lines and generating real pressure, trying to stack shifts. And I think part of that was every line was a bit incomplete other than the third line. So I think more complete now with this offering in the top six. And certainly they're going to be learning or leaning a lot on Matthew Knies, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner on the top line. Those are the best, not the best three players because William Nylander leads the team in goals. But in terms of trying to make a top six work, stacking that unit and have Nylander try and pick up Robertson and Domi is probably the best way forward.
It makes sense. William Nylander kind of getting a different opportunity there. He just came off the second star of the week for the NHL, announced about 20 minutes before we came on the air. In 5 games played, he had 7 points. In 3 games played, he had 7 points. That's even better. 5 goals and 2 assists. So just behind Cam Makar, who got first star, and Patrick Laine, who's come back with a vengeance, third star. So Willie's cooking. It's good to see. I mean, next-gen game, no spoiler alert, Mitch Marner loves to play in the next-gen games. It's his own. This is his night.
When you YouTube that 8-6 victory over Carolina, you'll see some Mitch Marner
maybe I do remember
highlights.
it then. I just think that, I don't know what it is. He likes the excitement, the kids. He's almost a next-gen himself, in a sense. I do think that this is a game where you'll see someone like him hopefully try to get on the scoreboard a lot. Hint, hint, at my player to watch, which will take in about 10 minutes on the other side of the break. But yeah, the new lines tonight. I did see that yesterday when I was looking at the Jets, they possibly were going to have some injuries, but it looks like Adam Lowry would be back in the lineup. But they're coming in hot. They just got a huge 5-0 win against the Minnesota Wild. Another Hellebuck shutout. You mentioned it. They're having great goaltending. You know, he's the minus 250 favorite or 270 favorite for the Vezina. So goal scoring is not going to be easy to come by tonight if he's getting the start at net. And the Jets are rolling with a really big win over a rival in the Wild that they definitely want to be better than, and that's a huge win for them. So they're kind of in a little bit more of a confidence spot than the Leafs, who had dropped a bad one, as we mentioned, on Saturday night here at home.
Yeah, they've been really good against the Wild. Wild have been a really good team this year. Jets have 3 wins over them already this season, so maybe that will mean something when the Central Division juggernauts go at each other come April. I'll give you the lines for the Jets because the Jets' strength really is within their depth. And you mentioned Patrick Laine, who turned into Pierre-Luc Dubois, who turned into 3 really important pieces for the Jets, who
the trade tree.
They do have some superstar players on their team, but I think the strength of their group certainly is how they can throw 4 real effective lines at you, and that will be the challenge for the Maple Leafs tonight. So on the top line, Kyle Connor, who is flirting with a Rocket Richard
It was last game that we bet him when the Leafs played the Jets, remember?
Did we? Yeah,
we were watching that game. He scored
keenly.
2 goals, and then 1 got called back, and we put a bet on for him to win the Rocket. I remember
There you go.
I remember.
And he's still sniffing around there, although Nylander certainly is ahead with Leon Draisaitl as well. So yeah, top line, Connor, Scheifele, and Velarde, one of the pieces in the Dubois deal. Ehlers, Nemesnikov, Perfetti on the second line, Niederreiter, Lowry, and Appleton. It will be Lowry, as you mentioned, Eilish, and then Barron, Hayden Barron, Gustafsson, and Iafallo, who's paid $4 million, plays on the fourth line, tells you a little bit about the depth of the group. And on defense, Morrissey and DeMello. Morrissey, of course, going for Team Canada, Four Nations face-off. Fleury and Fleury. Nice little combination there. Heinola and Miller, Hellebuck and Comrie, other goaltenders. Hellebuck will get the start. That might actually be a... the Jets may have a typo there.
I'm not sure because
I know Hayden Fleury, unless there's another Fleury.
I'm looking down their list. I'm like, who's the other Fleury?
I don't know if there's another one, so we will.
That might be a typo. Maybe he's so good he's playing both left and right.
It should be Neil Pionk.
Yeah, I think it might be Pionk,
the guy who makes $5 million on their defense corps. Unless I'm missing that he's out and they're rolling with 5 defensemen.
Well, producer Armin, get on it, dog.
But that's what the Jets have on their official graphics, so we can blame Winnipeg for that. Maybe it'll be that sloppy on the ice tonight, and it'll help the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I was watching you go through that. I'm like, I don't know another Lowry. Or was it? No, you said Fleury. I'm like, Marc-Andre Fleury? Yeah, it looks like Fleury Pionk. Good. Okay, we got a couple of minutes. Quickly, because it's a holiday spirit, quick naughty and nice list for the Leafs.
Okay.
Naughty just means just means you got to pick it up a little bit. You know, the first part of the season wasn't delivering a big present, but not a lump of coal. We're not mean.
Okay, you're certainly ready for the holiday season.
I am. I mean, it's in 2 days. You have to go home and pack and
Wrap.
Go home and wrap. Nice list, easy. Mitch Marner, can we agree on that?
I suppose so, yeah.
Suppose so. He's doing pretty well. I think William Nylander, nice list.
Yeah, a lot of goals.
Even though it's nice list. Nice list.
You're putting Matthew Nyes on the nice list?
Nice list.
Yeah,
Get it?
he's got his own list.
Nice list. Tavares.
Sure.
Tanev.
Been great.
Berube.
Been great.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Stolars.
No complaints.
Wall.
0 complaints.
McCabe.
Been very good.
Pacioretty.
More than you could ever ask for.
Okay, I think that's an easy nice list.
Okay.
Here's my easy naughty list. Domi. But I know he's had a good week.
Playing really well.
But sample size here, boys.
Okay.
Robertson. I know he's had a
Same
good
boat.
week. Riley.
I'll give you that.
Hockenpah. Reeves.
Reeves?
Suspension. Okay, here's the TBD. Matthews? Where are you putting him? Venn diagram?
Well, you don't have... he's not here.
Yeah, so which list is
He
he
hasn't
on?
been the
If
normal
you're checking
Austin
your
Matthews.
list and writing and checking it
There's
twice.
a little problem with your premise here is like... I think this says a
Why
lot.
are you taking this so
It
seriously?
says a lot about the group that there's like not many obvious naughties.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's
pretty
kind of
good.
doing their job, and
This
I think
was
that
this is
says
an uplifting
something-
segment.
I think it says something about what they're trying to do. That said, they're not like world beaters, so maybe there's something that they have to add to this roster. But like, I can't really complain about many individuals.
I agree. My TBD, and we only have 1 minute, was Matthews. Yeah, we kind of put him in the to be determined camp. Kind of the same. OEL. I don't know.
think OEL's been pretty good.
Okay, he's a nice
I
list.
give him nice.
Mark Savard was on the naughty list early, remember?
He might still be on the naughty list.
Okay. Dewar.
Dewar's been fine.
Okay, Lorenz.
I'd say he's nice.
Timmons.
All the quotes.
Nice.
Timmons has been nice.
Yeah, and then Benoit.
He's mild naughty.
Mild
But that's
naughty.
what I'm saying. There's really
pretty
nothing to
good.
complain about if you're a Leaf fan.
I think that's great. What a nice way to have some holiday cheer.
Other than, the Austin Matthews injury situation.
I agree with that.
And
I
the
think-
Stolars
I
injury
think, yeah, a little needs some health after the holidays. Okay, we'll take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get you set for puck drop. It's going to be a good one here. We got a quick turnaround on the other side. We'll give you our key to victory. We'll give you our player to watch, and we'll throw it to Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph for the first period. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, this afternoon, for the Leafs and the Jets, the Next Generation game. I am busy working, putting together the Football Frenzy campaign that we're running here on TSI so we can raise a bunch of money for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto during all of the football games, the college football playoff games coming up. Any Notre Dame fans in here? Buffalo Bills regular season and all the NFL playoff games. We're going to do a big drive for Sick Kids because that is what we do here on TSI. And you're making a difference just by being here. Now, I got to get back and figure out why my sound is all screwed up. I think it's because I got all of the stuff back moved up to upstairs out of the basement. So I got to go work on that. Listen in. Keep it classy. Have fun in there. We'll see you. Go Leafs, go.
A little bit longer. Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Over to our Saudi app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun.
What's up, Insiders? How we doing today? Oh, man, this is going to be a great game. I can't wait for this game. The Jets and the Leafs. When the Jets and the Leafs get together, it is awesome. It's always good. And go Leafs, go. Welcome to the Jets fans. I love the Jets fans as well. You guys always come in here and have a great time in the chat and contribute and keep it classy. I love it. Now, let's get to the rest of this pregame show. I just wanted to say hey to everybody, and Kimberly 2898, thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to all that celebrate, and happy holidays for everyone else. Happy New Year coming up, everybody. It's going to be awesome. 2025 is going to be a great year for me, for sure, and all of us. I can't wait to spend it with you guys like I do every single day, watching sports, chatting it up, hanging out with people making a difference in our community. Now let's get to that pregame show. please hit that like button down below. Make sure to share the link out too. Joe Bowen's son, David, is going to be on the call in the second period with Jim Ralph. Joe taking it. He's going to go listen to the call probably with the headphones on. Be the dad that's right there going, oh, he messed that one up. Yeah, maybe. But maybe he's going to just take a minute and relax. We'll find out. But it's going to be awesome. We'll see you guys back in there. Cheers, Insiders. Thanks.
I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
Avalanche goaltending sucks. There's no other way around it. They have the worst team save percentage in the National Hockey League. Oh, sure, they can score goals, but they can't prevent them. And this is why I don't take the Avalanche seriously as a Stanley Cup contender, no matter how top-heavy they are with future Hall of Famers. Their goaltending's bad.
Under review
With Nick Kern.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Today.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs hosting the Winnipeg Jets with a 2 p.m. start time with the next generation game and the final game before the holiday break. The number one team in the NHL, the Winnipeg Jets, coming in against a team that has the best home ice record in the Maple Leafs. We're excited to see the crowd, a little youthful, full of joy and holiday cheer.
Yeah, there's like a different vibe here. There's like lights. It looks like a concert.
This is cool. It's like a Bieber concert.
They're igniting the spark at the moment. But yeah, the Leafs are wearing their Bieber jerseys, and it's going to be a different vibe here at the rink, which I think is a cool tradition, although it's not much of a tradition because they don't do this every year. But I think a couple days before Christmas, a matinee game, I think it helps the players, it helps families. I think it's a great thing for the Leafs to embrace and continue doing this. Hopefully there's more of this in the future.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff happening tonight. The ice is Lego. It's very futuristic. Let's take a look. We only have a couple minutes here to do our key to victory. Brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease a CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Justin.
For me, it's compartmentalizing. We all have a lot to do. We got to get home. We got to wrap gifts. We got to plan things. Maybe we need to slide something out of the oven and prepare it for the holiday season. There's flights probably scheduled for some Maple Leafs tonight, tomorrow morning. Tavares probably has a million gifts to wrap for his 3 kids, but the schedule is favorable for the Maple Leafs. So a focus on what you have to do until about 5 p.m. tonight. 60 minutes on the ice, your best effort without Austin Matthews, and you can make sure that the pattern continues for the Maple Leafs of winning the last game before Christmas Day, Christmas season, and the holiday freeze. I think it's a good opportunity for the Maple Leafs to feel really good heading in to the break. And we should quickly get to the player to watch presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
It's an easy one for me. Mitch Marner, he loves the next generation games.
He is this gen.
This is his gen. This is his
gen.
game. He loves these games. I don't know the stats because Armin didn't give them to me, but I know he scores a lot in these, okay? So just trust me. Plus 200 for a goal, plus 16 for a multi-goal game. He also has had pretty good numbers against the Winnipeg Jets in general, but it is Connor Hellebuck in net for the Jets, as you mentioned. Not the easiest opponent. But I'm going to pick Mitch Marner as my player to watch because the kids are out there on the ice tonight. Now we've got about 30 kids lined up on the blue lines. Even I don't know if you saw them, Justin. Mini refs.
Oh, I like the mini refs.
So cute.
They look a little older, like they could really enforce.
Yeah, they might actually call some penalties tonight. But nonetheless, it's going to be really fun. It's great to see all the kids out on the ice. I'm sure this is one that they'll remember forever. And you mentioned John Tavares saw his kids up against the glass already with jerseys that said Daddy on the back.
There you go. And by the way, if you're a fan of the Bowen family, which if you're listening to the radio broadcast of the Toronto Maple Leafs, I imagine you are, a big one this afternoon. Joe's son David will call the second period. There's multiple Bowens in the booth as we speak, which is very fun.
The Bowens are taking over. I feel
them.
them.
The next Bowen call the second period is very, very fitting, and we're looking forward to that.
Bowen takeover, Bowen electricity.
Bowen Mania?
Bowen Mania. That's what we wanted.
It's like a Notre Dame tailgate up here.
It is. It feels like Sudbury in this booth. This is going to be a fun one. We'll take a quick break. We will have Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph taking you through the first period. On the other side, it's the Leafs and the Jets. The Leafs have just owned the Jets as of lately. We'll see if they can keep it rolling. On the other side of the break, we'll get you set for the first period. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
SiriusXM presents an MLB Network Radio Town Hall with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Hosted by two-time Golden Globe winner Bryan Cranston. Hear a discussion about the journey to the Dodgers World Series title as Roberts shares stories from the dugout. To hear this Town Hall anytime, download the SiriusXM app and search Dave Roberts Town Hall. And for daily baseball coverage, listen to MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Inside.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's the Winnipeg Jets coming to Toronto, playing a day game, the next generation game. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. Please hit that like button down below. As well, please share this link out and help get more hockey fans here in the chat. Today is a big game. Joe Bowen's son is calling the second period with Mr. Jim Ralph. And that way, Joe can take a little break. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you back in there. Go Leafs, go!
XM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Under review.
Avalanche goaltending sucks. There's no other way around it. They have the worst team save percentage in the National Hockey League. Oh, sure, they can score goals, but they can't prevent them. And this is why I don't take the Avalanche seriously as a Stanley Cup contender, no matter how top-heavy they are with future Hall of Famers. Their goaltending's bad.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Next generation
elimination game. The Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets, and the saviors of the Scarlet Stakes are brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. Joseph Woll gets the call for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is 9-5-0 this season, 0-1-0 lifetime against the Winnipeg Jets. A 2.50 goals against average, 912 save percentage thus far this year. This guy may be the first half most valuable player. Connor Hellebuck, 21-5-1, 2.07, and a 927 save percentage for Winnipeg. But he's got a losing record against the Leafs. He's 7-10-3 with a 3.16 goals against average in those games. Teams at center ice, and the puck is dropped, and we're underway, and we're glad that you're along with us as it is cleared to the Leaf blue line, but not in deep, and now they fight for it up against the boards in front of the Leaf bench. Cleared in over the line, and Connor Timmins gets back to find Benoit. Benoit chipping it along, but it's cut off there, and a shot deflected off a leg and went just wide on the near side. Leafs are going to get it elevated and send it out into the center ice area. Brought to the line by David Camp, but he has played it in on a delayed offside. Jets bring it back and send a long shot in wide of Joseph Woll. An afternoon game. Getting close to Christmas, and there are a lot of youngsters in the stands, including a couple of Bowen grandkids who are here today. And then I'm working with another youngster named Jim Ralph,
who can't afford to bring family.
Played down into the Winnipeg zone. Out at center. I didn't buy the tickets. Are you nuts? Played in along the boards up on the right wing side. Leafs get it to Tavares. He stops up at the red line. Going to regroup the puck now as he heads to the bench. Up on the wing it comes to Robertson. Robertson to Nylander. Nylander gets across the line into the slot area. Stick handle through. Oh, and he made a move to go to the forehand, and it rolled off his stick just a few feet in front of the blue paint. Kept alive by Morgan Riley. Back of the net for Domi. Max Domi holding. Domi still with it up against the boards. Chipped it to the side of the goal, and it was swatted at there by the Leafs, but unable to get it free was Robertson. He heads to the bench, and now the Jets are getting it out into the center ice area. Namestnikov plays it around the boards to the far side. Leafs arrive there to try to punch it back at the net. Myers into the game for the Leafs. Centering pass intercepted by Toronto. Riley will play ahead, and Lorenz got bodied, but then couldn't get his stick around the defender to get an odd man rush going.
We may never have another power play in this building again.
No.
Nothing against the Islanders, freezer team.
An errant pass goes down into Winnipeg territory. Apparently it was touched, no icing. Jets get it up on the left wing and out at center ice. The Leafs will do well to stay out of the penalty box, though, against this team. Pass into the slot area, gobbled up by Toronto, fed ahead, and Dewar will work his way down the left wing boards and just play it in over the line. Where the Islanders were dead last in power play proficiency, the same cannot be said for this group. And an errant pass goes into the screen and out of play.
Yeah, this might be the game where you want penalty-free afternoon, wouldn't you?
Crazy, isn't it?
I will say one thing. This Kyle Connor, to me, there's so many similarities with Nikita Kucherov, where he's not a guy that's going to go end-to-end, but the clever little plays. He makes a great shot, hockey IQ off the charts, and he's leading the Jets with 43 points already this season. And his career high is 93 a couple of years ago.
Morrissey's pass for Scheifele didn't connect. Jets regroup it in the center ice area, and it's going to be drilled in now by Josh Morrissey, and around the boards it comes. Leafs Tavares gobbling it up and now getting it ahead, and the Leafs start out at center with a pass that Nyes couldn't control. Speaking of Kyle Connor, he has the puck now back in his own zone. DeMello gets to the Toronto blue line, backhands it deep into the Leaf zone. Played around the boards by Jake McCabe to his defense partner, and a bank pass will spring it up into the center ice area before being sent back into the Leaf zone as the Leafs are in the midst of changing. They're wearing their third black jerseys with the white pinstripe lettering as far as numbers are concerned, so bear with us, if you will. Puck comes back to the point. Riley's pass in front of the net, deflected off Pacioretty's stick, but went wide. And then a big hit in the far boards there by Bobby McMahon, who gets shoved around a little bit by Namestnikov and is now shot into the Toronto zone by Pionk. Puck down the boards and along the wall into the area back of the net. And the Maple Leafs will bank it ahead and try to get it out, and they do, to center ice. Namestnikov brings it back, but had his stick lifted and stolen. And a good play made there by David Camp. Leafs stretching things out again as they are in the midst of a change. Morgan Riley, long right wing feed. And across the line, Robertson trying to find Nylander in front of the net. It didn't work. And out come the Jets with a pass by Namestnikov to get it out into neutral ice. He gets a return pass across the line, back in with a backhand. And a good save made there by goaltender Joseph Wall, who covers up on the short side as the backhand from Cole Perfetti, the Whitby native, is gobbled up.
And Cole Perfetti, 3 points in his last 3 games as well. I thought Joseph Wall looked like he was just starting to cheat to go to the far post. And the backhand came short side, just one shot on goal each now for both the Jets and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So you're not a fan of the jerseys? I'm not a huge... I'm admittedly old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Or a traditionalist. Let's put it that way.
I love them up close. They look great. But for what we're trying to do, no, not a big fan. Played down into the zone.
I've just never been a fan of changing colors.
All right,
or adding colors.
Okay, yep. Puck along the boards. Far side, unable to trap it there. The Leafs Knies now in against the wall. It comes high to the near boards. Leafs won't get to it. And it's bunted out at center ice and quickly played back. Nice touch pass by Knies. In over the line. And Tavares trying to find Marner, had it knocked away. Here's Kyle Connor coming back the other way with Scheifele. Pass intercepted, and now Marner wheels out of his own zone. Right wing side to the line and in. Tried to flip it in there, and it goes into the corner. Myers had jumped into the rush, took a bit of a hit there as he pokes it around back of the net. And Hayden Fleury for the Jets tried to find a winger that wasn't on the boards, and now here's Domi having it knocked off his stick, but he's able to regain it before it left the zone. Domi along the boards, kept it in momentarily, but it's knocked away. Brought to center ice and in over the line then by Lowry. His pass goes around back of the net. Lowry sending it back to the point, a shot. That went off a body in front of the net as Myers blocked it. To the blue line for Fleury again. This time he sends it around the boards. Reversed back of the net for Adam Lowry. Centering pass. Intercepted by the Leafs and played to the line but not out. Neil Pionk then unable to trap it with his skate on an errant pass as it goes down into the Winnipeg zone. No score. Coming up on 7 minutes played here in the first period. And the Jets get it to center ice and shoot it in. Slowed up by Wall. Played by Benoit to the far side. And a good play made on the far wing to just chip it out into the center ice area. Jets bring it back in. Right wing side, Namestnikov. Played around back of the net. Trying to get there was Lowry. It comes back along the boards. Cut off there before Ehlers could reach it. And out come the Leafs now to center ice. Played in on the right side. Pontus Holmberg unable to track it down. Cole Perfetti will launch it high and get it into the center ice area. There's been plenty of flow to the game, but only 2 shots on goal, 1 each. And off a stick it goes into the crowd and out of play. So a break in the action with 12:39 to play. First period, no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear that? Holiday spirit is soaring on the SiriusXM app.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us during the day here for us. 1 o'clock start time. What is this madness? Absolutely crazy. Where are you watching from in the chat? Please let us know. In the chat, are you in Toronto, right downtown next to Scotiabank Arena? Or are you out in the suburbs, out in Lake Country, all across Canada, or all over the world? Thank you for hanging out with us today. Let us know. We appreciate it. And let's get back to the hockey. Got to hear Joe Bowen's son call the second period. It's going to be awesome. Next generation game. Go Leafs, go!
NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scored the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, a very familiar face that we haven't seen around here for a number of years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Paul Hendrick in the building. A star of Leafs TV and midweek television. And
travel partner for years with us. And Bob McGill. It was great that Big Daddy brought Kenny spending the afternoon in the alumni suite.
Isn't that nice?
But Henny, Nicole Burns, Rob Burling. We've got a lot over the years. Great people with a lot of fun.
Way too many stories, none of which will be repeated here this afternoon. Puck inside of the net, rolls to the goal line.
Boy, they're going to have to look at the net
behind him. Yeah,
the net cam on this. I don't know if it got over or not. The referee wasn't in position, but this, of course, by the time Hellebuck, after the whistle, shimmies his way out of the goal. But this was just a sharp-angled backhand. Get it towards the net, and it was Connor Dewar. Nope.
Didn't make it.
Get over.
Well, we can tell you the referees are Eric Ferlot and Michael Markovic. Johnny Murray and Andrew Smith are the linesmen here this afternoon.
You mentioned that Hellebuck had a losing record against the Leafs. Big part of that is the Leafs take a 6-game winning streak over Winnipeg into this game.
Well, they got off to that absolutely marvelous start, and then the Leafs went into Winnipeg and beat them. First loss they had this season.
Yep, 6-4. But Hellebuck also had, I think it was Ilya Samsonov's best game as a Leaf, a 1-0 overtime win over Winnipeg here last January. Both goaltenders were great, but Ilya Samsonov ended up with the win at the end of it.
Puck out into the center ice area. Jets go back to regroup, and now Pionk will get it up on the right wing, and a long shoot-in taken there by Appleton. Goes wide of the Leaf goal. Back into the corner then for David Camp. Unable to play it up the boards was Timmins. That's drawn a crowd in the far corner. And the puck, when it is dug free, gets back to the point. It's kept in by Winnipeg as it comes around to the near side. Leafs spin it out on the boards and gets to center. And it is Pacioretty sending it deep into Winnipeg territory. Gets a bit of a rub in there on Hayden Fleury. And the Jets break out at center with Pionk hitting the Leaf line on the right wing, dropping it back. Appleton with a long shot kicked away by goaltender Joseph Woll. That's just the second shot on goal for Winnipeg. Puck into the slot area and a drive. And I don't think Hellebuck saw that. He heard it. It went whistling wide off a body. Centering pass in front. Comes back to McCabe. To the point, and a shot is blocked in front of the net by Pionk. Jets get it out at center, but it's there's a lot of gesturing going by the linesman.
Could have been a glove pass.
I think it is, yeah. Well, he's got to work on that gesturing, because that was very confusing. I'll have a word. I'll send Henny down.
But Henny was omnipresent every practice.
Oh.
Always the first one to ask a question in a scrum, and there were a lot of tough years where it was tough to ask that first question after a game.
I want you to give us the best one that you remember. Puck goes into the near corner in the Winnipeg zone.
Well, in fairness, I wasn't there.
No, but you heard. Pass ahead, Tavares across the line, right wing side, a pass in front of the net for Nyes, deflected wide of the goal. Swept around the boards then by Ekman Larsson, who was into the rush. Bouncing puck again in the slot, Nyes couldn't get to it. Tavares does. He gets knocked into the boards there by DeMello, played it into the side of the net. But Morrissey for Winnipeg gets it ahead, and now Connor pushes it ahead for Scheifele. Scheifele in over the line with Velarde, and he got belted and knocked to the ice. Scheifele did. Played out and down the ice, but no icing. Robertson into the forecheck, but the Jets play it around on the left wing. And it's punched out into the neutral zone. Leafs getting back at their own blue line. Play it up at center, and now a lead pass on the left wing for Robertson. Sharp angle, decides not to shoot it. Cycles it back into the corner for Nylander. Nylander getting it into the slot, and the one-timer by Robertson went just wide of the goal. Colin Miller plays it out at center ice. Leafs get it again, and Myers wastes little time shooting the puck right back into the Winnipeg end. Nylander curling out, got it back to the blue line. D to D, it comes to Benoit, and his shot was off the mark wide. Nylander will try it again in the far corner. Got some assistance there on the boards as it comes back to the point. Connor Timmins holds, trying to get a shot away, bounces in front of the net. But Heinola is there for Winnipeg to take it to safety, and we're 6 seconds away from 11 minutes played, no score. Benoit getting it ahead, and a lead pass springs a man. Dewar in, shoots, stopped by Hellebuck, and he's going to cover up on it.
Boy, Dewar got 2 chances at it, taking the pass at the blue line right in behind the Winnipeg defense. Walks in on Hellebuck, stopped the first time, got the rebound right back, and whacked that into the right pad of the Winnipeg goaltender, coming off a 5-0 shutout of the Minnesota Wild. He's been perfect early on here.
It is a 0-0 tie, and you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind.
Hey you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you, the Leafs fan that's hanging out with us today, this afternoon, for the next-gen game at Scotiabank Arena, the Jets and the Leafs. Thank you for being here, and I know that probably almost all of you have already hit that subscribe button. But if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for all of the Toronto Maple Leafs games this season and every season. Thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming an insider. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX 2-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
We are reminiscing about Paul Hendrick. My favorite was, I think they got beat something like 9-3. And Henny's opening line was, and it might have been to Randy Carlyle, well, you got beat 9-3, but you were 52% in the face-off circle here tonight. Had to find something positive. Oh,
and not just in post-game press conferences.
Nope.
Absolutely wonderful human being to be around.
Oh, God, yes.
And so great to see him here.
And one of the great punsters of our time. Pass into the Toronto zone, left wing side, trying to get back in front of the net, but Myers made sure that Niederreiter wasn't going anywhere, and the Leafs break it out at center as it's deflected into the zone by Bobby McMahon. Man couldn't come up with it. Then a pass goes off the stick of Pacioretty. Pacioretty gets another hit in as it's off a stick and high to center ice. The Leafs going back to it. No score here in the first period. 12 minutes in the books. And the Leafs have had 6 shots on goal. The Jets have had 3. Played into Winnipeg territory. Hellebuck bunting it into the near corner. Almost stolen by Knies as it comes in front of the net. And a shot off a skate and up into the screen and out of play harmlessly. And a face-off is going to come in the Winnipeg zone as Oliver Ekman-Larsson got that shot away.
What about 6 shots on goals for the Leafs? Connor Dewar has 3 of them. 1 from the goal line and 2 back-to-back, a second apart. So neither team has really found their legs offensively as of yet.
First period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. And the puck goes into the Winnipeg bench. And a face-off is going to come in the circle to the left of Connor Hellebuck. They started out, even with the loss to the Leafs, 15-1-0 in their first 16 games. They are 9-9-1 since. Centering pass, knocked down by the glove.
Wouldn't have counted. It was.
I was going to say,
Hellebuck.
unless they've changed the rules, that was not going to count.
Yeah, do you want more scoring or not?
Yeah, exactly. If you can volleyball it in with your hand, why wouldn't you get more goals scored?
I think the easiest way to get more goals going, eliminate the goalie interference penalty.
Well, you know what? It would certainly enhance opportunities for more people to play goal. The injured list would be a mile long.
Although you might have to bring Ron Hextall back.
Yes, just
to represent the goalie union.
Leafs keep the puck in off a face-off win. Myers' wrist shot was high and wide. Down along the boards, the Leafs, Nylander getting it around back of the net. Now Robertson with some room in the corner, banks it back to the point. Myers' shot goes off the leg of the Winnipeg player and up into the crowd and out of play. It would be interesting. And now playing goal, 13-year-old. We've gone through everybody.
The next gen.
Yes.
Oh, for the next gen game,
Yes. Yeah, the injured list of the goaltending on the team is 34 deep after no interference is being called in the crease.
Obviously, Chris Tanev out with a lower body injury. I think we could probably circle a few instances last game where it might have happened.
Pass off a stick, bounces to the near side. And in on the right wing, a shot by Velarde goes wide of the net. Scheifele keeping it in, but his pass was gobbled up, and now Marner trying to sift his way through and in over the line and does. Looks for a man in front with a shot, and that was deflected wide. Comes back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson punching it around back of the net, tipped in front of the goal out of the reach of Knies. Good play by Ekman-Larsson to run a little interference to allow Jake McCabe to keep it in, and then a shot is stopped by Hellebuck, but it comes back to the point. Into the slot for Marner, a shot and knocked down by Hellebuck and covered up. Great play by Ekman-Larsson. It wasn't interference.
It wasn't quite a pick.
Running interference. And he made a great play to allow Jake McCabe to get the puck and get a shot away.
Well, again, not a lot clear cut for the Leafs, but they have given up absolutely nothing at the other end. 8-3, the official shots on goal, but Leafs starting to get a little more offensive zone time. And I kind of like the way they've approached this game, Joe, where it's been defense first, giving up nothing off the rush.
Puck down in the Winnipeg zone, gobbled up by Namestnikov. He gets it out at center, trying to kick it in over the line, but doing so at the cost of an offside. Whoa. And then Robertson gets a bit of a cuff in the schnoz on the way past.
Yeah, Namestnikov came in and gave a little bit of a shot. I don't think anything is going to come of this.
6:09 to play here in the first period.
Have you ever seen any kind of stat that said the longest the Leafs have gone in games without a penalty being called with either team?
No.
This is rather impressive.
That's why we have the world's best color man, who probably has this stuff right at his fingertips.
What would you have exactly?
I have nothing. Pretty much what you got.
That ended that conversation, didn't it?
I got nothing.
I just figured that somebody's got stats for everything.
Well, yes.
Not us in particular.
No.
Somebody.
Puck in the Toronto zone. Nemesnikov backhands around back of the net. Trapped there by Joseph Wall, and he'll give it to Benoit. Benoit to his defense partner. Got it back again from McCabe, and now a pass out at center ice is deflected away, and Connor Timmins has to get on his horse. No, never mind. Doesn't have to because it's offside.
Get on a donkey.
It was actually the merry-go-round. Just the mechanical one. He was fine. He's fine.
No, I guess donkeys can still trot, right? But
Why are you looking at me? I don't own a donkey.
Not even as a pet growing up?
No. Never owned a donkey.
Ever work with one?
I have sons who have been donkeys, but I do not own one.
See, I was giving you the out to say you work with one for 28 years.
Among other names that have come to light. Leafs back in their own zone. Played out at center ice, too far for Bobby McMahon. And it is played right back into the zone now by Winnipeg, and then bounced down into Jet territory, forcing Colin Miller back to the puck. Miller gets it up on the right side. Niederreiter played it to center, to the line and in. Bounced around back of the goal, chipped in front of the net. What a great bit of back checking there by David Camp. He took his man right to the blue paint, and if he doesn't, it's probably 1-0. Little plays that don't show up on the score sheet. Appleton, his shot right on! Big save made by Wall, and then one of the Jets goes cartwheeling. That's Niederreiter, I believe, into the goal, dislodging the post on the far side. Gets a friendly tap on the pants from Wall.
But you know what, Mitch Marner, again, you talk about a great defensive play by David Kampf earlier. This time, it's Mitch Marner, and he's going to the box.
See, you jinxed it. You brought up about the no penalties, and here we are.
Could have gone the other way.
Yeah, could have. All right, Leafs are going to be a man short when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sports at 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
SiriusXM presents an MLB Network Radio Town Hall with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Hosted by two-time Golden Globe winner Bryan Cranston. Hear a discussion about the journey to the Dodgers World Series title as Roberts shares stories from the dugout. To hear this Town Hall anytime, download the SiriusXM app.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, this afternoon, for the Leafs and the Jets, the Next Generation game. I am busy working, putting together the Football Frenzy campaign that we're running here on TSI so we can raise a bunch of money for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto during all of the football games, the college football playoff games coming up. Any Notre Dame fans in here? Buffalo Bills regular season and all the NFL playoff games. We're going to do a big drive for sick kids because that is what we do here on TSI. And you're making a difference just by being here. Now, I got to get back and figure out why my sound is all screwed up. I think it's because I got all of the stuff back moved up to upstairs out of the basement. So I got to go work on that. Listen in. Keep it classy. Have fun in there. We'll see you. Go Leafs, go.
Matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Reno Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Radio Network.
Leafs a man short. Nice note from Tim Peel, who's listening to us down in St. Louis. Boy, the officiating's gotten so much better since he left.
Peeler would not have called that. That was just a hard play. Mitch Marner. No.
All right. Okay.
No, but yeah.
Well, mainly because he wouldn't have seen it. So
great to hear from Peeler, who's down in the St. Louis area.
Penalty kill brought to you by Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
By the way, it was a penalty. Marner's hook, and it saved a goal probably. Hook was into the hands of Niederreiter. But there was also a dive. As soon as the hook comes up, I don't know what the officials are talking about right now.
Where the face-off's supposed to be, they're going to say inside the zone, but
But as soon as the hook was administered, somehow getting hooked in the hands caused Niederreiter's legs to go straight out and slide into the goal. It's quite the hook.
It is.
I mean, I'm not a doctor or a neurosurgeon. I don't know what's all connected.
Jets win the face-off. Their power play is the best in the National Hockey League. They have the puck in the far corner. Scheifele getting it back to the blue line. Gets it returned on the far half boards. Took a shot off the chest. Blocked, but not out. Another shot. Oh, and a great save by Wall there off of Kyle Connors. And now the Leafs are going to get a hold of it. And David Camp sends it out and down the ice. 2 good saves by Joseph Wall. Velarde dropping the puck back. Scheifele brings it through neutral ice. Hits the line and in on the left wing. He goes to the front of the net with a backhand, and Wall able to come across down in the butterfly. Took it on the chest and is going to hold for a face-off with 4:02 left to play in the period and 1:12 left to play here in period number 1. No score.
Last game out, Winnipeg 2 for 5 in the power play against the Minnesota Wild. But they're just under 32% efficiency rate on the power play this season.
35 of 110.
10 for 24 in the last 5.
By comparison, the Leafs are 20 for 100. So that's 20%. Draw one, and Connor gets it back to the blue line. Morrissey with a shot block. Big rebound, scores! Wall lost sight of it. It bounced over onto the right wing side. And Kyle Connor, who you were talking about, was Johnny on the spot, and he had a lot of net to throw it into.
Kyle Connor scored 2 in Winnipeg, both from the same spot. Right wing circle, and I think the initial shot from the point, Joe, was redirected. So it comes down and goes off the right pad of Wall, but bounces to the left and onto the stick of Kyle Connor. And really, Jake McCabe is the only thing between Connor and the empty net, and he puts it through the legs of McCabe. And that power play. Mitch Marner saves a goal, taking a penalty, but the Jets cash in. And what a roll they are on with the extra man.
20th goal of the season for Kyle Connor.
I mean, just take their power play and combine that with Connor Hellebuck's goals against and save percentage.
Yep. Leafs trying to get onside, but didn't get there in time as the rush came in. And now Domi gets into a pushing section in front with Lowry. That ends up drawing a crowd. Nothing more there.
That was well after the whistle. Willie Nylander was still in the full splits mode in front of the Winnipeg bench trying to stay on side.
This is the next gen game for the Maple Leafs with lots of youngsters involved, and I'm pretty proud to say that you're going to have to work with another one of the Bowen family. David Bowen is going to be along for the second period doing play-by-play.
I said, I told somebody right away, I'm all for it as long as it's permanent.
Thank you.
I got your back.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Pionk getting the puck to center and in on the right wing. Appleton sends it to the net. It's caught by Wall. The Jets have 8 players with 20 or more points, and 2, or how many more? No, there's 2 who have 19. By comparison, the Leafs have only 4 players who have 20 or more points.
You want to guess who they are? And that included somebody that's been out of the lineup 11 times already this season, and Austin Matthews.
Yep. Draw one by Winnipeg. Sent by Pionk to the far side. Another long shot into the chest of Wall, and he's going to hold on with 3:27 to go in the period.
I know with the Washington Capitals, it's the same thing. They don't have somebody that's leading the league in scoring. They got a lot of guys
who are involved.
Top 9 forwards that are having pretty decent years. I mean, you do everything by committee, right?
They certainly share the power play. Connor has 9. Scheifele 4. Ehlers 4. Velarde 6. Iafallo 4. Pionk 3. I mean, it's like you say, well distributed throughout their lineup. Leafs with the puck in the offensive zone. Myers with a shot that doesn't make it through. Grabbed off then and banked back to Myers at the right point. Thinks about going D to D, then sends a shot to the net, but it was wide. Riley trying to pinch to keep it in and does. Puck into the near corner. Pionk sends it back to the net. Another good hit there by Pacioretty. Boy, he's turned into a nasty bit of business, hasn't he, since coming to Toronto? Shot in front of the Leaf goal is knocked away.
It's probably the traffic. I think that's happened to all of us.
Yes. Play it around the boards to the far side in the Leaf end. They regroup the puck, and Riley starts up with a pass ahead for Marner. Marner's feed in the neutral zone for Nyes didn't work. It's back along the boards in the Toronto zone, and then an errant pass sent for Marner. The linesman has waved it off just as well. It didn't make it over the goal line anyway. Puck back of the Winnipeg goal. Jets get it off the boards and play it out at center. Bouncing to the line and in, offside, as Iafallo tried to work in on that right wing with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the first period. And want to thank Keith Pelly, the CEO of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, for allowing us to have David be able to do a game or do a period here of this game. Kind of flew it by him, and he thought it was a pretty neat idea. And I remember the Young Canada Hockey Nights on TV when Bill Hewitt would slide in as about a 15 or 16-year-old to do a game with his dad, Foster. It's nice. DeMello playing it back into the neutral zone, and now has to go back to his own blue line with under 2 minutes to play. 1-0 Winnipeg on a power play goal. Played into the Toronto zone. Wall gets it around back of the net. Up on the wing it comes to Marner. Marner's rink-wide pass. In over the line now for Ekman Larsson. He sends a shot to the net. An easy save for Hellebuck. Nyes trying to help out. Nyes comes off the bail at the corner, and then a centering pass rolled off the stick of Pontus Holmberg. Pontus Holmberg gets enough scoring chances that you just wish he had a little better touch around the net. That was a perfect example. Ekman Larsson back behind his own goal, blew a tire and fell. Puck is back of the net, comes away with it though. Got it up the middle and off on the wing. It comes to Marner. His feed to the right wing side for Dewar didn't connect. And it's played to an open wing now, and the Leafs trying to get to it, and they do. Brought on now by Connor Dewar. His shot was blocked. The rebound goes into the corner. Lorenz trying to get to it. Lorenz in the near boards. Played it to Domi. Domi couldn't find a man in front. Lorenz with another hit as it comes out, and it is shot back in by Benoit, and 40 seconds remain in the period. Pionk got it ahead, and it's deflected down into the Toronto zone. Connor Timmins around back of the net. Has it up against the boards, and an errant pass and a shot blocked. The rebound still in the Toronto zone. Stolen back by Nick Robertson, and Robertson will find an outlet to get it ahead. Benoit will carry to the red line and shoot it in. Hellebuck can't slow it up. Leafs get it off on the wing, and a centering pass by Robertson didn't connect. Robertson with it in the far corner. 5 seconds left in the period. Jets are going to get it to center, and that will do it.
The Leafs did not really give up a whole lot. I mean, 12 shots on goal overall. But really the best scoring opportunity for the Jets found the back of the net. Power play, point shot, redirection, rebound. Empty net for Kyle Connor. And at the other hand, other than Connor Dewar's breakaway, Leafs really did not test maybe the best goalie in the league in Connor Hellebuck.
Velarde and Morrissey assist on Kyle Connor's 20th goal of the season and his 9th by way of the power play. And the Jets go to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming your way with our first period intermission. It is 1-0 in favor of Winnipeg. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The biggest college football games are on Sirius XM.
That was one of the craziest college football games I've seen.
Hear every game of the college football playoff and more than 40 bowl games.
That was a great move. They just juked him out of his shorts.
Get the channel number for your school's broadcast at SiriusXM.com/college football schedule.
Still on his feet, and he's into the end zone.
Or search college football on the Sirius XM app. And for expert analysis, check out College Sports Radio, Channel 84. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best.
What's up, hockey fans? How we doing? First period? Not the best start for our buds. Not the best start at all. Look at that. We got an early birthday coming up. Sandra, love it. There's Jason. Hello, Insider Nation. Go Leafs, go. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. It is so fun tonight. I'm so used to saying tonight. It's not tonight. But big shout out in the chat. We're going to let it run up there. And there you go. Rick Smith, you said it best. And I saw it that Joe reposted or retweeted your tweet out this morning, just like he did mine. And you guys need to go follow his son @_David Bowen on Instagram. Go check it out, and he's going to take the call with Jim Ralph here in the second period coming up. So we need to show lots of love in the chat for Joe and his son. This is a big time, big opportunity. So cool and so awesome for MLSE to do something like this. Cheers to MLSE, and I don't say that very often. With that being said, let's go refill the drinks. Get ready for the second period. Mine's just water, guys. It's way too early. I have responsibilities. Holy Mackinac. Let's go, Joe. Can't wait for the second period. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Go Leafs, go!
What's up, hockey? Hey, you! Thanks for hanging out. Future Hall of Famers. Their goaltending's bad.
Under Review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert for your intermissions. And we're also doing postgame. We forgot to mention that earlier. Pre-intermission and post. Triple duty before the holidays.
Yeah, we'll lead right into Kipper and Bourne on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. No Leafs talk today, of course.
We are your
with JD and
makeshift.
Sam. We're the bridge to get you to...
We could never be Leafs talk, but we're close.
No, definitely not. We would never pretend to be. But bridge to get to Kipper and Bourne without Bourne because it's Gord, so Gord and
Stellar.
Kipper.
Stellar.
They'll take over at 5 and we'll be there. We'll be on until 5. That's just the programming note.
And you know the programming note because I'm pretty sure Joe mentioned it when he threw to us for the first intermission break. But when we do send it to the second period, it'll be Jim Ralph and David Bowen Joe Bowen's son, who calls play-by-play for the Sudbury Wolves, will step in and take over the duties here. It is Next Generation Night at Scotiabank Arena, and we're bringing in the next generation of Bonesies to call the second. But let's get you through some first period notes before we get that. It was a bit of a sleepy start. It's a 2 p.m. game. I think the first 5 to 8 minutes were a bit quiet. The Leafs trail 1-0 after 20 minutes on a power play goal by Kyle Connor. This is another 20-goal season for him. He's just very consistent and scores a power play goal off a face-off deflection. That Wall kind of missed the puck, didn't know where it went after it hit a deflected player in front, and then boom, right to Kyle Connor, puts it in the empty net.
Yep, if you get a goal scorer like Kyle Connor in space like that on a power play, off a bit of a broken play, at least a goaltender forced out of position by having to make a save on a point shot, that's going to happen. And Mitch Marner hauling down Nino Niederreiter to set up the power play chance. I mean, it feels fairly just, Winnipeg being up 1-0 because they produced the best chance of the game to earn a power play and then scored subsequently on that power play. So there hasn't been much from the Maple Leafs offensively. It's kind of it's lingering a bit from Saturday night because they weren't so forceful themselves offensively on Saturday, so they got to find a bit of a shot in the arm. I thought Nylander had a decent period creating a little bit, but they're going to need more from the top six in order to get in a position to tie this game and win it.
The biggest surprise was when we sat down at press row and looked down and saw no Chris Tanev.
Yeah, sleepy start for the Leafs, but also maybe the printer wasn't working.
Maybe our producer wasn't
working because it seemed to surprise everybody.
Happy holidays.
It seemed to surprise everybody that Chris Tanev,
the whole press row was jumping.
Scratched with a lower body injury. Everybody's trying to figure it out, but Tanev obviously just as important, I'd say, to Austin Matthews, to the blue line, as Matthews is the forward group. He's kind of the linchpin back there, so missing Tanev tonight obviously is a big deal. Hopefully it's not something that lingers.
Yeah, lower body injury, so that's a tough one because what was the one piece of hesitancy, not even hesitancy, the one piece of maybe criticism on Chris Tanev joining the Maple Leafs was, first the contract's a bit long, who cares, was that he gets injured every single year. And every article that was written by every reporter said, pencil in X amount of games with no Chris Tanev. And hopefully this is just a momentarily, he was on the ice for warm-up, so maybe just something was feeling tight in the lower body. I don't think he blocked any shots in the warm-up, so hopefully nothing of that sort. But
Philippe Myers was out there for warm-ups. So sometimes they throw a couple extra bodies.
They
and
were kind of seeing. It seems like they were just seeing if he was ready, and clearly he wasn't. So he's not in the lineup tonight. But I guess a good amount of time before the next game. The Leafs play Friday night against the Detroit Red Wings, so he's got a few full days of rest. But no Chris Tanev. A bit spooky for people that are already thinking that he's going to have his injury luck run out.
Yeah, and to his credit, he's been really, really consistent this season in terms of his performance, but also being on the ice. All those concerns coming in, they've been mostly set aside, but maybe this is another opportunity to have that conversation. I mentioned Nylander did jump off the page a little bit in the period. I think that's grading on a bit of a bell curve, but Connor Dewar did have the best two chances for the Maple Leafs in the period, like a nice little down low play, almost snuck one through the legs of Connor Hellebuyck, and then he did get a breakaway chance a couple shifts later and was denied by Hellebuyck. That's not the guy you want getting the grade A scoring chances, but at least some of them were produced down further in the lineup by Connor Dewar.
I said he kind of looked like you.
Yeah. I mean, if doing what I do at a very high level, then you could maybe make that comparison. But stone hands, it exists at the NHL level as well. And Connor Dewar is not known for his goal scoring, so we'll excuse him a little bit. But you got to find some of those goals from deep in the lineup, and Dewar did have the opportunity to produce.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at the NHL scoreboard on their side. I believe there's almost every NHL team in action tonight, or today at least, a good one. Mostly going to be pre-gaming those games because it's a 2 p.m. puck drop. I think only one other game is in action. But we'll take a look around the NHL, and we'll get you set for a special second period coming here at Scotiabank Arena. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
1-877
online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum.
They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac! Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Marner in over the line looking for Tavares.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Scores! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
Did Steve Jobs create the iPhone while eating a ponzo combo? Next up, Quentin Tarantino's It Was a Rainy Day ads that never made it to air. Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 1-0 lead for the Winnipeg Jets after 20 minutes here at Scotiabank Arena. A little next generation 2 p.m. puck drop with a full rowdy crowd looking ready for the holidays. Let's take one look here at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
13 games in the NHL today and tonight as the league gets ready to pause for the Christmas season. Just one other game, as you mentioned, though, Eilish, ongoing. The Devils are beating up on the Rangers, who scratched Chris Kreider today. Oof. So the drama continues on Broadway. Still to come tonight, Canadians and Blue Jackets, Lightning and Panthers in an all-Florida affair, Capitals and Bruins, Blues and Red Wings, Flyers and Penguins, all Pennsylvania, Sabres and Islanders, Hurricanes, Predators, Blackhawks and Wild, Stars in Utah, Sharks and Canucks, and finally, Ducks and Golden Knights will close things out before Christmas.
All right, yeah, we're mentioned it here. It's a 1-0 lead for the Jets after 20. A bit of a slower start for both teams. Power play goal by Kyle Connor gives the Jets the 1-0 lead going into the second. Mentioned it earlier. If you missed it, no Chris Tanev and no Ryan Reeves as well, which we were kind of anticipating being the lineup because, you know, Jets and such.
Yeah, it can get a little dicey with the Jets on occasion, but again, they don't have a heavyweight, but we've been going over this all season.
I meant
Reeves.
more that he's from Winnipeg, too.
Oh, okay. Well, there's something to that, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's usually a physical game. Ryan Reeves, though, has been a dance partner the whole season, so maybe not any reason to not have him into the lineup.
All right, we mentioned it's going to be a special second period here at Scotiabank Arena on Sportsnet 590 The Fan because Jim Ralph and David Bowen, the son of Joe Bowen, will have the call of the second period next. We're looking forward to it. A little next generation love here at Scotiabank Arena. We're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's not 2025 just yet, and we're looking back on 2024 in the National Football League.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion.
High-profile players changed teams and made major impacts.
The King scores again.
Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll left the NFL sidelines after impressive eras, and so much more. SiriusXM NFL Radio's Top 10 Stories of 2024, hosted by Bill Leckis, premieres Christmas Eve, or listen to it anytime on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
Hello and welcome inside the Scotiabank Arena. I'm David Bowen, taking over the play-by-play duties for the second period. With me is Jim Ralph. Leafs down by a goal after Kyle Connor's 20th of the year on the power play, assisted by Morrissey and Velarde. Leafs will try and get back into the hockey game here in the second period. Ralphie?
Not a lot of jump. And how did you feel about playing afternoon games? Now, some guys love them. Some guys not so much.
Yeah, I was a fan of them, but usually in the Ontario Hockey League, it was Sunday afternoon, the third game in 3 days, so it was tough to do that.
What I loved about it was it took the whole day of worrying about the game.
Right.
You woke up and played.
Yeah, as a goalie, sometimes there's a bit too much time to think about
Instead of saying, game. Okay, you're warm, then you try to get a nap in, and then you go to the rink, and now you got all this time to kill. So I didn't mind it, but I know for a lot of players, and especially from a Leafs standpoint, they do not play a lot of afternoon games.
No.
I think the 5 o'clock game against Buffalo 10 days ago was probably as close to an afternoon game as we played since maybe the last next-gen game.
I know one guy that's happy it's an afternoon game is my dad to the left of me. So he'll be able to get home and watch the Green Bay Packers game this evening, which is all important as well.
I don't know whether he made the call to the Leafs, the NHL, or the Packers to get that done. But the Leafs need a spark. Mitch Marner and Connor Dewar led the Leafs with 3 shots on goal each, but only 8 total in the opening period.
Leafs will start with Camp, Pacioretty, and Bobby McMann as the second period is underway. Winnipeg quickly over the line. They fired into the far corner. Appleton threw it to the net. That's kicked away by Wall, and the Leafs will clear it out into the neutral zone. Rolls over the Winnipeg blue line. Behind the net is Hayden Fleury. He rims it up the far boards. Kept in momentarily by the Leafs, but now controlled by Winnipeg. Here's Nino Niederreiter inside his own zone. That's one of the more interesting names in the National Hockey League to pronounce. Was looking forward to that one. Leafs now bounce it out into the center ice area. McMahon over the line with a shot. That's blocked away by Hellebuck. In the far corner, both teams battling for it. Now Pacioretty throws it towards the front. Camp will give it to McMahon, who will fire from a sharp angle. And that goes wide, and Karam's all the way back into the Leafs zone. Connor Hellebuck leading the league in just about every stat in the National Hockey League right now. Ralphie, I certainly never did that in my career.
Well, I got here before you did, so I can tell you how that worked out.
Marner lets a shot on goal, and Hellebuck's able to hold on to that as well.
Yeah, that might have actually, Johnny Tavares was going to the net. I'm not sure if Tavares redirected that or not, but Connor Hellebuck was off balance, fell to his side as he was clutching it to the Jet crest in the front of his jersey. And Johnny Tavares might have just got enough of that.
Falls over. Just wide. McCabe back up top for Marner. His point shot blocked. Here goes Winnipeg the other way. Scheifele over the blue line with Connor heading to the net. It goes there. He scores. Kyle Connor's got 2 in the hockey game, and Winnipeg takes a 2-0 lead.
This is just off a turnover. Mitch Marner fires it towards the net. It's blocked, and the Jets counter with a 2-on-1 back to the other way. Scheifele with a perfect pass from the left wing circle onto the stick of Connor, and he just redirects us. And it's Scheifele that blocks the Marner shot right at the blue line. And the Leafs give up another goal off the rush. And a 2-0 deficit to the Winnipeg Jets is going to feel like 5-0 to most teams in the NHL.
Yes. Trying to get 2 by Hellebuck has been a problem for every team in the NHL this year.
Hard to believe, but only 3 times has he given up 4 goals or more in a game. 3 times all year. 1 was when the Leafs were in Winnipeg.
Got an icing call coming up here, and now we've got a fight in the neutral zone. Max Domi and Alex Iafallo have dropped the mitts. Domi with a good right. Picking up like his father, Ty, and he slams Iafallo to the ground. Max Domi trying to get the Leafs some energy. Certainly brings the crowd to their feet with a good fight there with Alex Iafallo.
And this is one of those fights that has a purpose. And that is what you just said, David, to get the Leafs some kind of energy, get this crowd into it. As it was well behind the play, it actually started. And Max Domi might have been the instigator. Although Iafallo was the first one to drop his gloves. That started to the right of Connor Hellebuck. In the face-off dot, as the play went down into the Leaf zone, they only made it as far as the blue line before the gloves came off.
Honor penalty, 2 minutes of sportsmanlike conduct. Both guys 5 minutes each for fighting.
So they're going to give Max Domi the extra penalty, I believe, there.
Boy.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, not an instigator penalty.
Yeah, that's how the league hides the instigator penalty.
Okay.
It's unsportsmanlike or it's roughing, and I think, Morgan Riley should have got an instigator in Buffalo. When he came in, Matthews got hit by Tage Thompson.
Right.
Riley comes in, but that was a roughing penalty and a 2 5-minute each for fighting. So you can talk about wanting to get the instigator out. Well, they got rid of it. They just don't call it.
They just call it something else.
Call it something else.
Well,
I believe it's called rebranding. We are rebranding the instigator, but the Leafs could be in big trouble if they don't get a kill here.
This Leafs penalty kill is brought to you by Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. League's best power play. Winnipeg's already connected once this afternoon. We're back over the line. Here's Ehlers. Back to the blue line to Morrissey. Morrissey now Scheifele at the top of the near circle. Bit of catching there with Ehlers. The Leafs do a nice job to intercept that and send it the length of the ice. Hellebuck will leave it behind the goal for Josh Morrissey. Morrissey now drops it behind his back, and here's Kyle Connor with it. He'll leave it for Scheifele. Over the blue line, he chips it into the near corner and behind the net. Team's battling for it. Ehlers is able to work it back towards the blue line. Morrissey for Ehlers. Ehlers tried to feed it down low for Scheifele. Nice play by Myers, and Myers will clear for Toronto. Minute gone by on the Leafs penalty kill. Almost 3 minutes gone by here in period 2. Winnipeg up 2-0. Over the line, here's Nemestikov. Nemestikov will rim it around the far boards. It's going to be played here by Nino Niederreiter. Niederreiter down low here for Cole Perfetti. He tries to get it to the line. Nice keep by Neil Pionk. And he's able to work it across here near side. Down low for Niederreiter. Across Perfetti. One-time blast. Oh, what a block by Camp. Now Marner racing up ice. Marner on a short-handed breakaway. Oh, and a great stick check there by Neil Pionk, and no penalty call.
And I think that's the right call. It's a non-call stick on stick. Although I'm sure Marner's upset because he got called on a similar play as this puck goes over the glass, off his stick and out of place, so the Leafs aren't going to be down 5-on-3. But similar to what Marner did to draw a penalty in the opening period. The only difference is Marner got a little more up into the hands of Niederreiter, and maybe the other side is
Marner didn't fall down.
Marner didn't fall down.
Well, Mitch Marner seems to really thrive in these next generation games. He's obviously a big fan of all the little ones that are in attendance.
Well, you did bring up, there was a game, I believe it was 2019 against Carolina, and it was an afternoon game. Leafs chased the starting goaltender. Then gave up, I think, 4 or 5 straight, and then scored 3 or 4 in the third period to win it. I think that was about a 7-5 or 8-6 game.
Holmberg over the line with a long shot, easily stopped by Hellebuck. And you mentioned
to me, that's not the next generation. That's the previous generation.
Right.
Scores like that. Unfortunately, I was a big part of that previous generation. Where 8-7 and 10-6 games.
Yeah, you had mentioned that might have been the worst timeout call in the history of the NHL when Rod Brind'Amour called that timeout.
I believe the Leafs had just tied at 5-5 in the third period. Brind'Amour called the timeout, and 5 seconds later,
right off the faceoff,
Mitch Marner scored to make it 6-5. You don't know what's said during a timeout sometimes, but you're going, I don't think it was that.
No, that wasn't the plan. Penalty kill is over for the Leafs. As Winnipeg chips it over the Toronto line, that's Morgan Barron chipping it in. Former St. Andrews College Saint is Morgan Barron. Same school that I attended. He able to parlay that into a D1 scholarship to Cornell. Now a regular NHLer, Morgan Barron is, so good to see him. Puck in the Winnipeg zone. It's rimmed up the boards, and Appleton has it for Winnipeg. His initial pass was blocked. Now he'll carry it over the Leaf blue line. Pressured there by a couple Leafs, then got a stick up towards the face area of Morgan Riley.
And I don't think they're calling this.
No.
I don't think you can call. I don't know if you can call this a follow-through.
The refs are getting together to talk about it.
I mean, the stick does come up. It looks like they're going to call a high sticking penalty here.
Winnipeg number 22, double minor, high stick.
Well, it's going to be a double minor. I mean, I still think if you're Scott Arniel and the Winnipeg Jets, you might be saying, wait a minute. This was a backhand trying to get it into the zone. And you know what? I think it's the follow-through in the pass.
Yeah.
They may.
He's trying to make a pass. He misses the puck, and it goes right into the face of Morgan Riley.
Mason Appleton is the Winnipeg player again. It doesn't look like there's much pushback from the Winnipeg Jets bench.
No.
But it is allowed. If it's a follow-through on a pass or a shot, it's not considered a high sticking penalty, and now they continue to look at it. Right. I would not be surprised to see this reversed. Now we're getting a look on the monitor up here in the booth of Scott Arniel behind the Jets bench.
And the officials.
Yeah, I have a feeling, boy, it's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
Yep.
In Buffalo, they got these kind of calls on Friday. No question, Morgan Riley's cut.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's a follow through or he just missed it.
Winnipeg number 22, double minor.
Well, they're going to stick with the penalty, so the Leafs will head to the power play for 4 minutes here.
The one angle, it looked like he missed the puck. So it's not really a follow through if you don't make contact, I suppose.
Well, Ralphie, you know the rules in and out, so I trust your opinion.
I know a lot of them. And they keep changing them, though.
So, Leafs power play here, down by a pair. Trying to claw back into the hockey game. Tavares, Nyes, Nylander, Riley, and Marner, the 5 Leaf skaters.
Leafs just 5 for 25 in the last 12 games with the extra man.
Good keep by Marner. Sends it down low for Nylander. Back up top for Marner. Across to Morgan Riley. Now Nylander. Tried to get it into the slot. His pass was blocked. Nylander stays with it. Across to Matthew Nyes. Back up top. Marner with a shot. That goes off a stick and wide. Nylander to the blue line. Riley across to Marner. Into the slot. Tavares shooting. And he whistled it just wide. Marner chips it down low. Nyes and Tavares trying to get to it. Now Marner pinching to help out. Both teams scrambling for this loose puck. Morgan Barron trying to take it away, but Marner stays with it. Marner in the near corner. Looking for a teammate. Saucers it up top, looking for Nylander, but that deflects out and back into Toronto territory. Nylander will quickly bring it back up ice. Over the blue line. Nylander in the near corner. Tries to get it up top to Riley. It was up in the air. Morgan's able to move it across to Marner. Marner back up top for Riley. Now far circle for Nylander. Nylander across to Marner. Throwing it out front. They score! Johnny Toronto taps it home, and the Leafs are back within one. That's probably one of the easiest goals John Tavares will ever score. Wide open net, tapped it in on Hellebuck.
But a great feed from Mitch Marner in the right wing circle. And Tavares, who had his first hat trick of the season in Winnipeg against Hellebuck and the Jets. All he has to do, Nylander will pick up the first assist. It went D to D, but Mitch Marner playing the right point. I mean, this is a one-time pass. He doesn't rifle it, but it gets past the Winnipeg defenseman and onto the stick of John Tavares' back door, and more importantly, the Leafs have the second part, the double minor, to work with to try to tie this up.
Not many players in the NHL with vision like Mitch Marner. Every game he makes a play like that.
I've always said it's like playing the video games.
Yep.
That's the way he sees the ice. You see where everybody is. Sometimes you forget when you're down there how quickly things happen and how little time and space there actually is. But Mitch Marner is one of those gifted players.
So now 1:30 left on the power play. Tavares in the neutral zone with it. Drops it back for Marner. Marner now to Nylander. Leafs over the blue line. Nylander had it knocked away. Marner found it. Just missed Nyes with the pass. Nyes will go collect it. Leaves it for Nylander at the top of the far circle. Walking in. Bottom of the circle now. Looking for a teammate. He goes to the blue line. Riley will swing it across. Marner sends it to the net, and that's deflected just wide. It's tapped by DeMello up to Nemestikov, who will clear for Winnipeg.
I like the second unit, though. I know Marner and Nylander are still out. A little more simplified.
Yep.
Get the puck to the point. And that's how Winnipeg scored their first power play goal. Point shot, rebound.
Nick Robertson over the blue line. He's been on a good little run here for Toronto as of late. Comes to the near corner. McMahon for Nylander. Nylander surveying. Now will curl around, look for a teammate, and go back to the blue line. Ekman Larsson back for Nylander. Nylander throwing it to the net. That's blocked in front there by Fleury. Nylander in the near corner. Looking for a teammate. Back up top for Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson will work it far side for Robertson, but couldn't really play it off the boards. Leafs keep it in for a moment. And now Kyle Connor will chip it out. Leafs penalty or power play about to expire. Just 5 seconds left on the double minor. Nylander lost it at the Winnipeg blue line, and then it's fired out of the zone by Connor. Scheifele will pick it up. Scheifele down low here for Appleton. Appleton will cycle it behind the Leaf goal. Mark Scheifele is there. Scheifele in the near corner up top. A one-time blast there by Heinola goes wide. He got touched with a high stick, but the Leafs touch it next, so that's waved off. Appleton in the far corner. Back to the blue line. Jets will now fire it in behind the goal. Here's Velarde. Velarde taking it towards the slot area. Now back up top. A shot there by Miller is blocked in front. Leafs are tired here in their own zone. Winnipeg is pressuring. Scheifele out front. That's knocked away by Joseph Wall, and then Robertson will just flick it high in the air and out of the Leaf zone. Leafs trying to get a change. Winnipeg will fire it back into the Toronto zone. Joseph Wall will rim it around the boards. Nylander was there, but he's pressured by Perfetti and company. Now McMahon does a nice job to bunt it out into the neutral zone area. Holmberg was chasing after it. Winnipeg is there to recover it. Miller now up top for Perfetti. Perfetti will carry over the Leaf blue line. Stopping up at the near circle. Now he'll spin it in behind the goal. Almost 9 minutes gone by here in period 2. 2-1 Winnipeg. Perfetti behind the net. Will play it up top for Morrissey. Morrissey across to DeMello. Throws it into the near corner. Perfetti's back onto it. Perfetti looking back door with the pass. That goes off a skate. And now the Leafs will pick it up and move it out into center ice area. Here's Holmberg over the blue line. Holmberg with Dewar going to the net. That tips wide. Now Holmberg tries to bring it right out front. That was knocked away, and then Morrissey.
Without his stick.
Without his stick, just swats it the length of the ice.
Well, at least too bad they weren't able to take advantage of that. The stick snapped right beside his own goaltender, Hellebuck.
Hellebuck out of the goal to play it. It comes to the blue line. Timmins with a shot. That's kicked away by Hellebuck. Now Niederreiter will push it out into the center ice area. Now he'll get some help from Neil Pionk, who will dump it into Toronto territory. Whoa, to Joseph Wall out of the goal to play it. Almost missed a teammate with a pass, but the Leafs are able to clear. Winnipeg in their own zone. Fleury will move it up ice. It's deflected into the Toronto zone. It's played by Simone Benoit to get it onto David Kamp's stick. Kamp over the blue line for Pacioretty in the slot with a shot, and that's easily gobbled up and held onto by Connor Hellebuck. Break in the action. 10:01 left to go in the second period. Winnipeg 2, Toronto 1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's the Winnipeg Jets coming to Toronto, playing a day game, the next generation game. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. Please hit that like button down below. As well, please share this link out and help get more hockey fans here in the chat. Today is a big game. Joe Bowen's son is calling the second period with Mr. Jim Ralph. And that way, Joe can take a little break. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you back in there. Go Leafs, go!
The interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
For 40 years, listeners have pondered why Pizzaville begins every ad with these now immortal words.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realised...
Questions like these have perplexed mankind for millennia. What is the meaning of life? What is the true nature of the universe? Will Toronto ever win the cup? Next up, is Netflix going behind the scenes of It Was a Rainy Day? Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back inside the Scotiabank Arena. David Bowen and Jim Ralph with you here.
Now, you've done this for 9 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yep.
Winnipeg goal, a fight, and John Tavares' 200th career goal is a Leaf.
Yeah, not too bad for a good 9 minutes and 59 seconds.
Like I said to you during the intermission, or the commercial break, I'm going to miss your dad. I really am. But he had a hell of a run.
Well, the Leafs, John Tavares, 16th of the year on the power play from Marner and Nylander, have helped answer the 2 Kyle Connor goals that gave Winnipeg a 2-0 lead. So we're back to action here in the second period. Puck dumped into the Toronto zone. Shots on goal 14-13 in favor of the Leafs. Rolls to the blue line. Morrissey will keep it in. Backhands it behind the Leaf goal line. Morgan Riley is there. Into to Marner. He falls down as he's getting pressured there by David Gustafson of Winnipeg. Puck comes free. Iafallo will work it to the blue line. Morrissey dishes it back down low for Gustafson. Back up top. Morrissey with a shot. Deflected. Stopped by Wall. Oh, what a save by the left toe by Joseph Wall. The flexibility to get the left toe on that and keep that out. Winnipeg still pressuring though. Morrissey behind the goal. Brings it to the near corner. Now he'll cycle behind the net. Morgan Riley. Nice play to get it to Tavares, who fires it up ice for Nylander. Mark that save down by Wall to keep it a 1-goal game. Here's Tavares. Nice move, but he couldn't get a shot away. Bobby McMahon on the forecheck picks it up. McMahon up top with a shot. That's deflected wide by Tavares. And DeMello's on it for Winnipeg. He'll play it to Gustafson. Time for the Jets to clear out of their own zone. Ehlers will pick it up. Now he'll curl back into the Winnipeg zone. Well, I was talking about Morgan Barron. former high school friend of mine in the NHL. You got any former high school friends left in the NHL? Or?
Only if they went to school on Thursdays. Other than that, I probably never met them.
Leafs in the neutral zone. Matthew Nyes will dump it in, and we get a whistle here. Maybe an offside or potential icing call here. Looked like he got the red line, so offside.
I think it's an offside. Bobby McMahon might have jumped the gun a little bit on the left wing side. I love stats like this when they come in during the course of the game. With the goal, John Tavares is the 5th player in NHL history to score 200 goals with 2 different franchises.
There you go. Who are the other 4? Did we get that information too?
I can give you the easy one.
Okay.
He played for Edmonton and LA.
Ooh, I think I got that one. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Another played for the Leafs in Calgary. Lanny McDonald, Mark Messier, and Keith Tkachuk.
Love stats like that.
Yeah.
We get a break in the action. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
On Christmas Day, SiriusXM NBA Radio decks the halls with basketballs. 5 games.
Got it! A possible game winner for Nikola Jokic.
The biggest stars.
LeBron slam dunk.
All day long.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, this afternoon, for the Leafs and the Jets, the Next Generation game. I am busy working, putting together the Football Frenzy campaign that we're running here on TSI so we can raise a bunch of money for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto during all of the football games, the college football playoff games coming up. Any Notre Dame fans in here? Buffalo Bills regular season and all the NFL playoff games. We're going to do a big drive for Sick Kids because that is what we do here on TSI. And you're making a difference just by being here. Now, I got to get back and figure out why my sound is all screwed up. I think it's because I got all of the stuff back moved up to upstairs out of the basement. So I got to go work on that. Listen in. Keep it classy. Have fun in there. We'll see you. Go Leafs, go.
Goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back inside the Scotiabank Arena. David Bowen and Jim Ralph. We've got 8:20 left to go in period number 2. Winnipeg 2, Toronto 1. John Tavares with the Leaf goal.
Another thing you were talking about going to school and playing with Morgan Barron.
Yep.
2 shorthanded goals on the season for Barron out of his 3 that he has scored for the Jets.
Puck in the Leaf zone. Joseph Wall rims it to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He'll play it across to McCabe. McCabe, long pass up ice. Matty Nyes has it in front of the Leaf bench just at the blue line. Now he's able to chip it in deep. Onto it quickly, though, is Hayden Fleury for Winnipeg. Fleury with some good skating, able to bring it out into the neutral zone. His pass was knocked down by the Leafs, and now Tavares will dump it in as Toronto is making a full-sail change here. Fleury in his own net. Up to Kyle Connor, who's got 2 goals for Winnipeg. Across to Mark Scheifele. Scheifele tried to get it down low for Connor. Nice play by Toronto to get it out into the neutral zone. Josh Morrissey picks it up for Winnipeg. He'll flick it back in. Ekman-Larsson had his pocket picked by Scheifele, but then Max Domi, who kind of started the charge for the Leafs with a fight earlier in the second, was able to get it out, but now Winnipeg will bring it back over Toronto's line. Scheifele throwing it out front. That missed Appleton and rolled into the corner. Nylander up the boards. Now Domi chips it ahead. Robertson all by himself over the Winnipeg blue line. We'll just rim it around the boards here near side for Myers. Myers chips it in deep. Winnipeg works it up the wall. Myers keeps it in again. It's in the slot area, but Morrissey is able to clean it up for Winnipeg and move it out into the neutral zone. Goes off the stick of Scheifele, so no icing. Winnipeg heads for a change now. Myers up the boards for Toronto. Pacioretty chips it out in the neutral zone. It's picked up by the Winnipeg captain, Adam Lowry. And thrown right back into Toronto's zone. Morgan Riley flicks it out, and this will be, no, it will not be icing. One linesman said it was, the other one did not.
Usually because they they both have whistles. The one that thought it was would be the one that won.
Winnipeg with a pass up ice off the stick of Gustafsson into the Toronto zone. Wall out of the net, rims it around the boards to the blue line, but kept in by Winnipeg and Colin Miller. Rolls into the near corner. Timmins on it for Toronto. Gets it ahead to Pacioretty. Pacioretty will get the red line and fire it in. Behind the net, Miller for Winnipeg. Rims it around the boards. Gustafsson is there for the Jets. He'll play it ahead to Iafallo, and he'll tip it into the Toronto zone. Behind the net, Connor Timmins. Ahead here to Dewar. Dewar will flick it ahead for Holmberg. He'll chip it into the Winnipeg zone. Lorentz on the forecheck on Pionk. Mad scramble behind the Winnipeg net. Bodies flying everywhere. Lorentz now finds it and works it back to the blue line. Ekman Larsson fires one towards the goal. That's tipped wide by Holmberg. Battle for it in the far corner now. Holmberg gets knocked down there by Pionk. No penalty call, and it's moved ahead here to Nemestikov, who missed a pretty good run there by Connor Dewar. And Winnipeg will now chip it into the Toronto zone. Toronto, nice hit by Ekman Larsson. He works it up the wall. Lorentz now, long cross-ice pass for McCabe. He'll leave it for Nylander. Nylander at the top of the circle. Nylander across and looking for a shooting lane. Now Myers down low for Domi. Out front, Myers with a chance, and Hellebuck stuck out the right blocker and made a great save on Myers.
Boy, that was one-on-one, too, from about 12 feet in front of the Winnipeg net, and Myers had just jumped in from the point. And I think a pass that was intended for the far post went off his skate and out to Myers, but he could not take advantage as Connor Hellebuck's reactionary save with the blocker keeps this a 2-1 Winnipeg lead.
Stoppage of play is Hellebuck gloved a high shot, and I think we're going to have a break here as well. So we'll step aside with 4:50 left to go in period number 2. Still Winnipeg 2, Toronto 1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2024.
Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
These immortal words have begun every Pizzaville commercial for 40 years.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
But who is the enigmatic voice of Pizzaville? Rumors suggest it may be Nicolas Cage. Could it be Babu from Seinfeld? Others claim Jennifer Lopez is the voice. Next up, the voice of Pizzaville reveals which Spice Girl he dated. Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy Becca! 3 goals! He's tied the game!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena. 4:50 left to go in period number 2. Ralphie, the Leafs have certainly looked a little bit better here in the second frame, creating some more scoring chances on Connor Hellebuck.
And I thought you brought it up, the Max Domi fight, as much as a lot of people don't want to see that in the game.
Certainly brought some energy.
Yeah, you could say it was a coincidence, but one that worked in the Leafs' favor, that's for sure.
After a Joseph Wall glove save, there's some pushing and shoving going on after the whistle.
Yeah, that was kind of out of nowhere, isn't it?
It's been a couple.
Now, one thing I've always remembered is that seeing games around the holidays got chippy. There was just something about
guys aren't in the holiday spirit. There's there always
seemed to be a little animosity between teams around the holidays, bench clearing brawls.
Leafs are making a change here. Face-off will come to the glove side of Joseph Woll. Some interesting outfits here at the Scotiabank Arena this afternoon. People are into the holiday spirit.
Or just the spirits.
Yeah. Face-off won by Toronto, moved out into the neutral zone. Holmberg tipped it for Benoit, who will chip it into the Winnipeg zone. Behind the net, Fleury rinsing around the boards. McMahon is there. He gets knocked down by Appleton. Pionk will move it ahead to Niederreiter. Nino Niederreiter across to Appleton. Appleton to Niederreiter, who throws it out front, looking for Lowry on the back door. Now Fleury from the blue line whistles that wide, and it rolls out into the neutral zone. Just about 4 minutes left to go here in the second period. Josh Morrissey over the Leafs blue line. He'll now cycle it behind the goal line. Appleton is there. He'll work it back to the blue line. Morrissey across. DeMello throwing it towards the net. That missed Mark Scheifele. And now it's chipped ahead by Camp to Bobby McMahon. McMahon over the line. Chip it in behind the goal. Leafs are trying to make a change here. DeMello gets there first for Winnipeg. Gets it over here near side for Niederreiter. He's pressured there by John Tavares of Toronto. Nice play by Nyes to take it away. Throws it to the net. That hit a body out front. Marner over the bench now. He's able to take it away and moves it to the blue line. Ekman Larson shot stop. The rebound off the boards. How did Hellebuck stop that? Tavares now to Nyes, who's planted himself in front of the net. Now he gets pushed behind the net. Another battle for a loose puck. Comes towards the near side. Niederreiter trying to clear. Kept in by Marner. Now McCabe with it. Good shift here by the Leafs. Tavares in the near corner. Nice move. Throws it out front. Goes to Marner up top. He swings it across to McCabe. Dropping it back now, Ekman Larson. McCabe in the corner, right out front. That hit a skate. Now Appleton will pick it up and just gets enough of the clearing attempt to get out into the center ice area. Leafs counter quickly though. Marner, right circle with a shot. That one whistled over top of the blocker of Hellebuck and wide. Rolls all the way back into the Toronto zone.
I'll tell you, a smart play by Marner. Hellebuck got caught a little bit deep in the net. I don't think expecting Marner to try to launch it from that far out.
Leafs still pressuring. Here's Domi with a shot, and that kind of handcuffed Hellebuck a bit, but he's able to now find the rebound and hold on for a whistle.
By the way, with that John Tavares goal here in the second period, his point streak now is extended to 5 games, 4 goals and 8 points in that stretch. Mitch Marner, point streak goes to 6 games, all assists, 8 of them during that stretch. And Willie Nylander, a 7-game point streak, 6 goals, 5 assists. And as we saw in the last few games, when you had Robertson, Domi, and Bobby McMahon click, I mean, those were the difference in those games, was that secondary scoring.
Here's Nylander off an offensive zone faceoff. Takes it around the back of the net, moves it up top for Myers. Cross to Morgan Riley. Riley flicks one towards the slot area. It's knocked down by Winnipeg. Clear to the line, but not out. Myers keeps it in. Looking for Domi here at the near corner. He's pressured by Ehlers and company. So now both teams scramble for it. It now rolls in behind the net. Picked up here by Colin Miller of the Jets. He'll swing it across to his D partner Neil Pionk, who will fire one up here near side for Ehlers. He will now dump it into the Toronto zone. Morgan Riley onto it quickly, but his pass is now taken away by Mark Scheifele. Scheifele cross-ice pass. Nice play by Robertson. He knocked that out of midair. The Leafs are able to get it out into the neutral zone. Winnipeg's right back onto it. Ehlers chips it to Scheifele. Scheifele tried to get it back to Ehlers. Now they're tied up behind the goal. Comes towards the blue line. A shot and stopped by Wall. And that was tipped out front by Kyle Connor. Almost had the hat trick there. Holmberg will dump it in for the Leafs. Behind the net here, Fleury. Nice job by Camp to knock into him. Now Holmberg picks it up for Toronto, and Fleury's down with an injury. No whistle yet. Fleury now back up onto his feet, but he is a wounded soldier right now. The Leafs throw it to the net. That's stopped there by Connor Hellebuck.
They got to wait till Winnipeg touches the puck.
Last minute of play in the second.
Holmberg throws it towards the slot area. It's now touched by Winnipeg, and now they're finally going to blow a whistle here as that's...
Now, I'm not sure what it was, but this appears to be hip or groin related for Fleury, as he's not putting any weight at all on his right skate and is being helped off.
And he's going to go right back to the dressing room for the Winnipeg Jets.
Take a look at it again.
Yeah, Dewar. Bumped into him, and maybe right there. Maybe a groin, yeah.
They kind of got caught up together in behind the net. It didn't look like it was anything dirty or even anything significant, just the way Fleury ended up twisted before hitting the ice. 53.6 seconds to go here. The Leafs still trailing by 1.
Face-off won by the Leafs, but then picked up by the Jets, and Morgan Barron will skate it out to center ice and dump it into the Toronto zone. Iafallo trying to get there for Winnipeg. Now helping out is Gustafsson, but Ekman-Larsson gloves it ahead. Marner gets it across to Nylander. Nylander will dump it in. Rolls around the boards. Now Iafallo's on it for the Jets, pressured by Marner. Tavares helps out, able to get it to Nylander. Nylander in the near corner. Now tied up against the wall by Gustafsson. Tavares trying to get in there and help out. Time running out, 15 seconds. Leafs get it to the blue line. Timmins to the net, and that just missed a redirection by Toronto. Benoit keeps it in, but Winnipeg's able to gobble it up. Morgan Barron will skate it out to center and chip it in. Final 5 seconds ticking away here. Nice save by Wall. It's thrown out front again, but that will do it for period number 2. Kyle Connor scores again, gave Winnipeg a 2-0 lead. But then John Tavares answered on the power play, his 16th of the year, to get Toronto back within a goal. Ralphie, that was a lot of fun. Want to thank everyone that was involved, Keith Pelly and everyone that kind of gave me this opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
and it was my final decision.
It's final decision? Okay,
yeah,
good.
It came across my desk, and I said, okay.
Well,
but only because you said you've been listening to me for years.
Oh, Ralphie, I only tune in to listen to you. I don't even know who the other guy is.
David Charles, you're outstanding. Then you got the Leafs back into the game after the fight and the goal by John Tavares. Great job. And I told your dad this. I've done the first NHL games with the likes of Dan Dunleavy, who's now with Buffalo, John Abbott, full-time in Calgary now with the Flames, and John Bartlett, who is with Sportsnet now doing national games. So I'm good luck to a lot of guys.
Perfect.
Keep her going.
Well, I'll take all the good luck I can get.
Great job, buddy.
Thank you. All right, so stay tuned as Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert are coming up to break down the second period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
It may be cold outside, but we are only weeks away from the start of golf season. Get ready for 2025 with SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio's season preview show, where you can hear about the biggest storylines and players to watch out for next season.
I think Rory really wants to get back to the summit of our game.
Hear the SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio 2025 season preview show tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Channel 92 in the car and anytime with the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under Review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them.
What's up, insiders? What a great job by David Bowen and Jim Ralph. That was awesome. Thank you to Jim Ralph for really doing a great job there, and we always forget about Jim on this channel because we all love Joe Bowen so much because he is the legend. In my opinion, the best announcer in the history of the game. Hands down. That's it. That's my opinion. But thank you all for hanging out with us here in the Leafs chat. The best hangout here for the Maple Leafs and all of our Toronto sports teams. Can't forget the Raptors. We have a Raptors live tonight. We'll see you in that chat as well. Much, much slower in the Raptors chat, so we need to start building that community up a little bit. But we will. There's Pierre in the chat as well. What's up? How you doing, Pierre? Mr. Roboto the Wrench. How you doing? Edson from Brazil. Great to see you, Edson. Love it. Andrew Hurd. My man, says Bob Call. Yeah, listen, in my opinion, it's Joe. I grew up as a kid who moved away from Toronto because my dad left, and of course I had to go with him. And all I had was the radio call over the internet for a very long time. So that was how I became the biggest Toronto sports fan in the world, instead of like a Chicago sports fan since I live here, or, all that. But awesome seeing everybody. There you go. Hi from Milan, Italy. We are worldwide here on TSI. Thank you guys. Gonna let the intermission run. Gotta go refill the water cup. Almost down. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you guys in the chat in the third period. Go Leafs, go. Got to get that comeback going. Thank you, Brandy, for the super chat as well. Much appreciated. Lots of Mary. We'll see ya.
Time magic from Mo Salah.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Nylander across to Marner, throwing it out front, they score! Johnny Toronto taps it home, and the Leafs are back within one.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590. The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Sporfire and Justin Cuthbert stepping in after David Bowen gets his big-time debut up here. He did great, like Baby Bonesy. I guess we can't really call him that. It's probably my age.
No.
Nonetheless, he did a wonderful job.
A little younger, I hate to break it to you.
Darn it.
Yeah, good period for David Bowen. Good period for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I thought.
He picked a good period to step in.
Yeah, it was.
Like, he had lots to talk about.
Some good action there, a couple nice goals, a good scrap featuring Max Domi and his semi-willing participant and Alex Iafallo. But yeah, I thought the Leafs started to tilt it a little bit in that period, which is maybe a product of being down 2-0, but I thought they played pretty well on the back half of that period, pushing for an equalizer. So, we've talked a lot about sleepy starts, how the Maple Leafs haven't really got right into it, haven't taken control of games. It has come on late a bit, but this one feels a little bit more powerful, a little bit more convincing in terms of taking over the ice. So we'll see if that continues into the third period.
Yeah, sleepy start to that period. Kyle Connor, once again, he's a Leafs killer. We got to get Kyle Connor's goals against the Leafs stat. Oh, Armin's not paying attention. He scores a minute 15 into the second period there. That was a tough one for the Leafs, but this was the one where, Marner blocks the shot. It's the OEL covering and Marner trying to play 2-on-1, and it was just a bit of a defensive lapse there. I don't think OEL really covered Kyle Connor much, and I don't think Marner really defended the 2-on-1 very well.
Marner kind of jammed him up a little bit, though. You making a play at the top of the umbrella. If you're the offensive player, you got to make sure his shot was, or his attempted, almost like a dump into the offensive zone, was blocked, and they go back 2-on-1. Ekman-Larsson got on his horse. Maybe they didn't pick it up perfectly, but I think that one's pretty much on Mitch Marner. Thankfully for Marner, he kind of equaled things out, even things out, I guess I should say, with a nice pass to Tavares for the Leafs' only goal of the game.
Yeah, Leafs' only goal of the game came on a power play, that double minor that poor Riley gets bleeding everywhere, got a stick in the mouth, but they get a 4-minute power play, and John Tavares gets his 200th goal with the Toronto Maple Leafs, which becomes just the 5th player in NHL history with 200 goals for 2 or more franchises. Wayne Gretzky, Landon McDonald, Mark Messier, and Keith Tkachuk are the others. So pretty great company to have 200 or more goals with multiple franchises. So his goal there, it's the first power play that the Leafs have had since Matthews was out of the lineup, and it's the first one that they score on. So that's the way that we'll be talking about it moving forward if there's no Matthews. Because
great, so that narrative continues.
Yes,
then.
That's exactly when I wrote that down. I said, here we go again, because there's that stretch of hockey where the Leafs had the dead last power play in the league. Matthews is out of lineup. They come back in. They're scoring like nothing ever was a problem. We thought maybe they're just trying to force it to Matthews too much. Case in point today, first power play they get without Matthews, and they score on it. Good puck movement, but we were mentioning like they kind of were flubbing the puck a little bit, and even John Tavares, who gets the puck in the crease, basically passes it to himself and then puts it in the net.
Yeah, he had a tap in, but he had to tap it twice, like one of my bunker shots. You got two
seen a couple of those.
two touches on it, which is a stroke penalty, and of course I just don't count that.
I let you go with it. You're good.
What's that?
I let
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
I get a
Sometimes
couple of those from the woods too.
Yeah, of course. That's the way we play golf. Interesting though, like they get the goal out of the double minor, and then they get to stay on the ice, which I imagine, like you played a lot of power play in your time. When you get to stay out on the power play after you score a goal, it's like the best thing ever. But it did get one Maple Leaf into a bit of trouble in that period. William Nylander stayed out for the entire 4-minute power play, so they score the goal, and William Nylander gets to stay out, and then I guess it was cut in half too. Not cut in half. We can look up when they scored the goal. But Nylander was out for an entire, what didn't quite amount to 4 minutes because they did score. So a long power play. He stayed with the extra 2 minutes, plus he got caught out for another at least minute on the ice. His total shift was 4 minutes and 55 seconds in the, I guess, the first part of the second period there. Like when you get caught out there for 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes, you can't move. It must be the loneliest feeling.
I thought at first so the Leafs scored, I remember looking up the clock, there's 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the double minor. So almost...
So 51 seconds. So it would have been basically a minute, and he stayed out the next minute, and he stayed out another almost 2 minutes.
So after they scored with the 2 minutes 51 left in the double minor, I was like, okay, they're going to put them back out. It was kind of in that area where, well, you probably want to have your fresh legs, but you haven't really...
And you have time to have like a short one with your second unit. And
that's what I thought they would have done. Second unit comes out for 30, gets the puck in the zone, sets up, and then the new guys come on. So they went back-to-back with the top line, and then poor Willie was gassed out there. Like he had a gas tank just dragging him around. But yeah, 450 or whatever. 455 is... probably the longest shift the Leafs going to take this season, and by the end of it, he almost needed that push from someone to get him to the bench. But that's if you're a power play guy, you get 2 chances.
Yeah, it didn't hurt them though, as the Maple Leafs do close the gap and don't give up anything. So they're putting themselves in a position just down 1 entering the third period.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, take a look at the games to come tonight on the out-of-town scoreboard, including what's going on with the Devils and the Rangers, who are currently the only other game playing right now in the NHL. A little bit of drama there. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
NHLShop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space.
What's up, insiders? Okay, third period coming up. Let's go. Leafs got to get the win in the next gen game. Marner's going to have a big period. I can tell. Johnny Toronto got a first goal there. We're good. We're good. Let's go. We're just going to start strong. Thank you guys for hanging out, keeping it classy in the chat. Shroom. Maybe that's a good idea there with the Blues and the Red Wings game. Maybe we'll do that one live. Can't wait to see what Joe has to say about David's performance there, and as well. We're going to let the lovely Jelly promo run there. Jelly, Leafs Jelly HD. You guys know the drill. Every night, within minutes of the puck drop, the highlights with the best commentary in the world. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. And maybe soon to be David Bowen and Jim Ralph. Maybe. I don't know. Sounds good. There you go. Go Leafs, go. Let's get back to it in the third period and the highlight video. We'll see you in a bit in the chat. Let's get loud and get that chant going. Go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go.
Another shot, red and blocked. Another chance. Game over.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's a 2-1 lead for the Jets after 40 minutes here at Scotiabank Arena on a lovely matinee next generation game.
All right, I thought Joe was coming back. I thought the intermission was over. The TV's getting ready to go over here. They were showing Scotiabank. I'm like, oh, yeah, here it goes. Here it goes. Nope, I was wrong. So we're going to listen to the intermission report because you'd rather that than the video that we've seen like 600 times. But shout out to Leafs Jelly HD. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell turned on over there for Jelly so that when he sends those uploads up, you get notified on your phone. Literally goals within minutes, too. Back to the intermission.
Flames and Blue Jackets at 7 p.m. Lightning and Panthers also at 7. Capitals, Bruins, Blues and Red Wings, Flyers and Penguins all at 7 p.m. as well. Later after that, Sabres and Islanders, Hurricanes and Predators, Blackhawks and Wild, Stars and Utah, Sharks and Canucks, Ducks and Golden Knights will be the last game on the schedule today.
All right, last games for a little bit here as it's 2 days before Christmas, so I believe nobody's in action tomorrow. Leafs not in action until Friday, so lots of opportunity to leave it all out there in the third period. We'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, but a special congrats to Joe's son who had a great call. David got a couple goals in there, a fight, like not a bad period, so hopefully he brings that good luck for the third and lots to come. You know?
Yeah, I hope so. Joe can call. I'd be okay with Joe calling a fight.
Yeah,
a couple of Leaf goals in the third.
Let's make that
Make this an interesting one, for the sake of our postgame show.
I agree. Let's manifest. All right. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the third period next. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A blessed Advent, everybody. I'm Cardinal Timothy Dolan here in New York, inviting you to join me, along with Sirius XM's The Catholic Channel, for a very special Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up! Game on his stick! Score!
Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac! Go Leafs, go!
Weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Been really nice working with you. I'm moving on to take a position with the street cleaning department here in Markham.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Mr. Ralph. It's very kind of you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by.
No, he was great.
Yeah, we're very proud. He did a great job and had a lot of fun. And if you're going to do a period, you might as well get 2 goals and a fight.
Get her all done.
Get her all done. Yep. So let's see what happens here now. The Leafs down 2-1 with the third period to come. 18 shots apiece.
Anyway, Winnipeg 17-0-1 when leading after 40 minutes of play. Leafs 4-9-1 when trailing after 2.
Played down into the Winnipeg zone. It'll be played up on the wing, but it bounces over the stick of the Leaf and out at center ice. Now comes Mason Appleton. Appleton dropping it back in a shot. Good blocker save made there by Wall. Appleton, a native of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm betting a pretty big Packer fan. As it comes back to the point, Pionk keeps it in. Appleton with a shot. Oh, what a good pad save that was. And then maybe another one right there by Wall as he got the left pad out there very quickly to make the save. Winnipeg starting quickly with a couple of good chances here. David Camp stick handles his way out of difficulty. A long lead pass at center is chipped in by McMahon, who now heads to the bench, and now a change of players coming. Shifley, body to the boards there by Tavares. Tavares got it freed up and in over the line. Stood up there was Nyes. Tavares after the loose puck in the near corner. Works out of traffic, and then a centering feed was cut off before it reached its intended receiver in Marner. Jets rattle it off the glass and down into Toronto territory. Bouncing puck Shifley couldn't handle. Nyes gets it out at center. Marner was tackled there by DeMello, but no call. And down into the corner it comes and out at center. Both teams have scored a power play goal. Marner in over the line on the right wing side, and a pretty good wrist shot. Just went over top of the crossbar. Leafs keeping it alive, but Nyes unable to come up with it as it rolls out at center ice, and then a touch pass by Myers went astray. Leafs trying to get back, but the numbers are with Winnipeg, and then Myers intercepted a pass and was able to get it out at center. Played right back in again by Heinola. Jets down into the far corner with Domi getting it around back of the net. Max looked a lot like Dad in that tussle, didn't he? Got a couple of good uppercuts in.
I was saying to David, too, it also put a little bit of life into this building, and the Leafs ended up scoring after.
Robertson with a long shot that went over top of the net. And it'll be pushed out at center. Ty used to get you in the spin cycle, right? He was not a big man, but he has tremendous balance.
And being a lefty.
And left-handed, yes. And all of a sudden, you'd be in a spin because he would be twirling you around and then delivering.
Well, and pulling you forward.
And then delivering that left hand with a lot of authority. Leafs get it into the Winnipeg zone. Benoit around back of the goal and playing it off the boards to the point. Kept in by Connor Timmins as it went well wide of the net. Puck along the near boards. Kept in by Toronto, and then it bounces over the blue line and comes out at center ice as Pontus Holmberg couldn't maintain possession. Colin Miller, Sault Ste. Marie native, getting it ahead, and it's backhanded by Velarde down into the Toronto zone. Winnipeg 2, the Leafs 1, third period, 16:40 to go in the frame. Jets get it in over the line. Velarde centers, and they score! Shifley on a beautiful pass by Gabriel Velarde, and Shifley snaps it over the pad of Wall, and it's a 2-goal lead.
Boy, Bobby McMahon was right with Shifley until the end. And then 2 quick strides by Shifley got him to the front of the net all alone. And Shifley makes no mistake. I mean, it's a nothing play. The Leafs have numbers. It's actually a 1-on-3 when it's thrown to the front of the net. But you'll see Bobby McMahon had just pulled up, and Shifley goes to the net and redirects it past Joseph Wall. And that's very similar to the second goal that the Jets scored. Just throw it across the crease, backdoor tap in, and the big boys for the Jets have come through here.
Fired down into Winnipeg territory. It'll go around to the side of the goal and played ahead into neutral ice across the line. A good hit there by Myers. The Leafs would like to have a few of the folks that are on the injured reserve list to participate here tonight. There's a good pad save, and then a rebound was chipped over top of the goal by Niederreiter. Puck comes out and just out of the reach of Marner, and it'll come to center ice. Austin Matthews not in the lineup. Chris Tanev not in the lineup tonight. Ryan Reed's a healthy scratch. Played to the line but not out. Nemistikov dropping it off on the left wing side. Connor works into the corner. Connor goes around back of the goal, banking it back to the blue line. Trapped there by Pionk. Pionk on the wing now for Perfetti, and he couldn't get a shot away, and it's down into the center ice area. Miller will play it right back down into Toronto territory. Out of the net, Wall to chip it along the boards. Crowd getting into it here as they try to get the Leafs back into the game. Down a pair. Lead pass at center for Robertson. Robertson works to the line, overhandled the puck, then dropped it off. Left wing side for Connor Dewar. Weak shot, though, was well wide of the goal. Cleared off the boards, but not out of the Jet zone. It did a stanchion there and stayed in momentarily. Now the Leafs get it in over the line with Lorenz getting it in back of the net. Dewar couldn't come up with it. Pushed back at center ice by Winnipeg. Leafs have to wait for teammates to get onside. Brought in by Lorenz. Wrist shot went wide. Far side for Ekman Larsson to backhand again back of the net. Dewar gets it freed up. Lorenz after it. Holmberg as well into the left wing corner. Pinching down the Leafs. McCabe trying to get it freed up and does. Dewar's around back of the goal now trying to come out. Couldn't get a shot. It's centered into the slot area and the Leafs spinning with it now with Pontus Holmberg sending it to the net. And that went off about 4 pairs of skates and just deflected wide of the goal.
The Leafs need some help, sometimes from the hockey gods in any kind of comeback, but down 2 to the Winnipeg Jets in the third period is not an enviable position.
Mann gets a pass off, and the wrist shot taken by Pacioretty ends up going off a stick and into the screen. 13:47 to play here in the third period. The Jets with a 3-1 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
The Saints and Packers wrap up Week 16 of the NFL season on Monday Night Football. The Packers open as a massive 14-point favorite with a total of 42. Can the Saints pull off a massive upset, or will the Packers keep rolling? Make sure you tune into Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio. Channel 159 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that. Enjoyed it in Boston. Love it here. 2 organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes. And we're seeing some young guys get a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scores the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs in need of a couple of goals, down 3-1 to the Winnipeg Jets. Their next action is not until Friday, when they will be in Detroit. We'll have that for you right here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, as they tangle with the Red Wings in the Motor City. Puck around back of the net. Centering pass then by Pacioretty, but unable to jam it home on the short side as it's shot back down into the Toronto end. Bouncing puck out at center. Banked ahead. In over the line. Now where's Nylander working to the net? A shot! And a blocker save made there by Hellebuck.
Did he make that look easy?
Didn't he ever? Just a nice little flick and it was gone, right? Willie saw some room there. Played out at center ice, and the Leafs have it again. Pacioretty sends it into the zone. Nylander sifting down there, but the Jets have time and space. And DeMello gets to center and shoots it into the Toronto end. Timmins freeing it up on the far side for Nyes. He'll backhand high to center, but it's too far. And Iafallo will play it back into the center ice area. Now the Leafs get a turnover, but can't press the attack. Played off the boards and down into Toronto territory. As they go back now to recover the puck and start out with it. On the left wing for Tavares. Tavares into the corner for Nye. Centering pass, just narrowly missing Marner, and then another shot missed Marner again as he was looking for a redirect right on the goal crease. Pinning it to the boards is Pionk. And the puck is dug out by Nyes. Nyes reverses his field, got it into the corner for Marner. Back to the point, kept alive. Marner gets a return pass from Ekman-Larsson. Now to Tavares. Tavares stick handling with it in traffic, sends it towards the net, but it's knocked down easily in front by Pionk, and the Jets have it in their own zone. 24-10-1. The Jets with 49 points coming into the game, 5 more than the Maple Leafs. Through center for Domi. Into the zone, he roars into the left wing corner, now back of the net, tried to center, hit a skate, got it again. Back to the blue line, wrist shot coming, but it's off the mark wide. Tip back now for McMahon. His pass into the corner didn't work. In goes McCabe to try and free it up, and now the foot race is on with one man back. Riley, the lone defender on the left wing side. The pass in front. Riley makes a great skate save to keep the puck from going in front, and the Leafs are countering. Right wing side and over the line, Robertson, and as he tried to play it back, it came out over the line. Riley will pump it right back down into the zone. Now an errant pass, gobbled up there by Benoit of the Leafs to get it into Winnipeg territory. Jets play it off. Did it go off the stick or off the glass? No. Into the stands it goes, and the Leafs are going to get a power play here on the delay of game to get an opportunity to get back into the game.
Dylan DeMello is the Winnipeg defenseman, just trying to play it up the right wing boards. Got a little too much air under it. And the Leafs are able to take advantage of a 4-minute Winnipeg penalty in the second period. Great opportunity here to get close once again. Well, Willie Nylander had his arm up before that puck cleared the glass.
They're very good officials.
Oh, God. That's one thing about those penalties. Delay a game, shot over the glass.
18 guys.
With their arms in the air. Only 4 of them are refs.
So here we go. Rattled around the boards. Blocked. But a break here now with Lowry. Trying to work in over the line. It's a 2-on-1. The centering pass. Oh, and another big save made by Wall. Iafallo was into the rush with him. And I think Wall just did get a piece of that and deflect that up into the screen.
Well,
he didn't. Off the crossbar and up.
That was almost 3 identical goals for the Winnipeg Jets. And it was rung around the boards. Mitch Marner went to the far boards, got down on one knee to try to block it, but it ricocheted off him to the middle of the ice. And you can tell by Marner's position, he was prone and not able to get back. Morgan Riley couldn't break up the 2-on-1, but fortunately for the Leafs, Rossbar kept it out.
Nylander in over the line to Marner. He works to the right wing side, top of the circle and now into the corner. Plays it back to Morgan Riley. Riley walks the line, looks for an outlet, gives to Marner. Marner to the near side to Nylander, and a shot off the skate of Pionk and went wide. Riley will trap at the near boards and keep it alive to Nylander. Into the slot area, Marner had to knock down a bouncing puck. Goes to the corner, plays it back to Tavares. Near side, a one-timer! Went off of Nyes and went just wide as Nylander let it go. Willie gets it again on the near side. Holds at the top of the circle. Still with it. Down low, back of the net, Marner centering pass. No one there. All the way down the ice, and Wall hoping to catch the Jets. Gets it back in over the line for Nylander. Dropping it back now for Marner. Marner holds into the corner for Willie. Nylander swinging back behind the net. Nylander still with it. Banks it back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson is there now. To Nylander. Loses the puck, and it's grabbed off by Heinola and sent out and down the ice. 25 seconds to go in the power play.
Best chance was the one-timer by Nylander from the left wing circle. I don't know if Hellebuck got a piece of it first, but then off Matthew Nyes and just wide.
Centering pass there by Pacioretty went wide. Kept in by Domi to the far half boards. Back to the point it comes. Walked in on the wing now for the Leafs, and a shot hits the side of the goal. Back of the net goes McMahon. McMahon looking back now for Timmins. Timmins to the far side for Domi. The penalty is over. A shot stopped by Hellebuck and cleared into the corner. Jets trying to get it out, and they have. Icing waved off by the linesman. And with 8:45 to go, time becoming a bit of an issue, especially the way Connor Hellebuck has played not only today, but all season. Wrist shot high over top of the Winnipeg goal. Round back of the net. It's played up on the left wing boards and out at center ice. Benoit got it ahead and brought in on the left wing, and trying to squeeze by there was Jake McCabe without success. Jets play it into the slot, cut off there by Pontus Holmberg, but then they can't keep it in, and Benoit's got to hustle back. There's a man loose in front of the net, and it's Scheifele! Stopped by Wall! There's a rebound! Where is it? They're jamming away at it! They say it's in the net! Now we've got a scrum going on. The referee has pointed that it's a goal.
Yeah, Winnipeg's got a 4-1 lead here as the Leafs get caught again on an odd man rush. This time it was Jake McCabe that got caught up ice, leading to the 2-on-1. It looked like Joseph Wall was going to be able to keep the puck out, and the Leafs still into it. Oh boy, this is late. I mean, is there any kind of whistle being blown here? It looked like it was under Joseph Wall long enough. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
I mean,
I think it was.
It was below his skates, and then the Leafs put it back into his pads. You'll see it's on the goalpost.
Yeah, but he had it wedged in between his pad and his skate. Oh, that's a tough call. They're going to argue about this, but I don't know if there's no whistle blown, how do you disallow the goal, right?
But I mean, you can't give up, 5 of these to Winnipeg in a game, to their best players, and not expect you to come back and bite you. Maybe there's an excuse for it with 8 minutes to go. You're down 2. But to get caught up ice again, the number of opportunities, Joe, the Leafs have given up off the rush has been, to me, disturbing the last while. It's a goal, by the way.
Well, it is now. It was along the goal line. It was pushed back underneath Wall's pad, but no whistle came. So if there's no whistle, there's no way that you can really ask for a review. And it's 4-1 Winnipeg with 7:36 to play in the third period. Morgan Riley playing it back of the net. Myers will go back to his defenseman, and the Leafs are getting a change going.
Winnipeg goal, his 20th of the season.
Scott Arniel has done a wonderful job taking over for Rick Bowness. And the Jets are the bailiwick of the Western Conference for sure. I mean, they have got off to the incredible start, maintained it. They've had some injuries, but they're getting through them.
Well, even you mentioned, you get off to a 14-0 start. And you figure if you're 500 the rest of the year, you're 14 games above 500. It's not a bad year.
Well, like second year of Pat Burns. The Leafs got off to a 10-0 start, set a record.
And then we're 500 the rest of the way, weren't they? Yeah.
And got blown off the front page because some guy named Joe Carter decided to hit a home run.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably well-deserved.
Well-deserved. No, I didn't say it was well-deserved. We got a break in the action here. The Leafs trail 4-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. this afternoon for the Leafs and the Jets, the next generation game. I am busy working, putting together the Football Frenzy campaign that we're running here on TSI so we can raise a bunch of money for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto during all of the football games, the college football playoff games coming up. Any Notre Dame fans in here? Buffalo Bills regular season and all the NFL playoff games. We're going to do a big drive for sick kids because that is what we do here on TSI. And you're making a difference just by being here. Now, I got to get back and figure out why my sound is all screwed up. I think it's because I got all of the stuff back moved up to upstairs out of the basement. So I got to go work on that. Listen in. Keep it classy. Have fun in there. We'll see you. Go Leafs, go.
The Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Knies, who scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face-off at center ice with 6:48 to play in the third period. David was doing much better than I have.
Like I said, he was even at a fight.
Yeah.
You're -3.
Well, it's been nice working with you.
Well, you know what? It's a cutthroat business.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I hadn't noticed.
Well, things he was saying about you.
I'm still paying the bills at Laurentian at the sports administration program, so he better watch himself. Long shot off the pad of Wall, goes wide of the net. Scheifele back of the net. The Leafs take it away and get it up on the wing, and out at center they come. Nylander across the line, dropping into the slot. Tavares scores! John Tavares gives the Leafs a little life. Second goal of the contest.
Second of the contest, 5th this year against Winnipeg alone. And how big is that 4th Winnipeg goal now? It looked like Wall had it covered up. Jets knock it in to make it 4-1. Now Tavares makes it 4-2. But that mountain has got to be climbed in the next 6 minutes and 18 seconds.
What a season he's had.
Tavares has been outstanding.
Hasn't he?
Now, a big part of this, and it's not to take anything away from him, is starting the season with Mitch Marner. And then Marner playing a lot with Tavares with the injury to Austin Matthews. But he seems rejuvenated.
He really does.
Got some energy.
Played out at center ice. Leafs with it at their blue line. A bank pass off the stick of McMahon into the zone. Centering pass then sent up on the wing, and out come the Jets on the left side. Going to be poked in, and Myers stepped into one of the Jets on the far side as he took Niederreiter almost into the Leaf bench. McCabe and Nylander drawing the assist. Leafs back in with Marner closing, and the shot caroms off the stick of Morrissey and finds the screen after Marner had made a nice little move inside to change the angle, but couldn't get the puck away quick enough without Morrissey getting in the way. So with 5:24 to go, the Leafs need a couple. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Christmas Eve, Bad Santa makes his return.
Come on up!
History was made in 2004.
Hey you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you, the Leafs fan that's hanging out with us today, this afternoon, for the next-gen game at Scotiabank Arena, the Jets and the Leafs. Thank you for being here, and I know that probably almost all of you have already hit that subscribe button. But if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for all of the Toronto Maple Leafs games this season and every season. Thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming an insider. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
HF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Next generation game. Let's see if we can get these kids wound up with a goal here to make things tight. Down the stretch as the Leafs trail 4-2 to the Winnipeg Jets. And the Jets win the face-off. And it's pushed out at center by Niederreiter. Leafs have it at their own zone. Hammered off the boards down the ice. Won't be enough for icing. Nylander kind of thought it was going to go for icing and really didn't pressure. And now the Jets get it out at center and play it in to the Toronto end. Timmins quickly around the boards for Marner. Marner starting out, looked for Nylander, but it went off a stick and deep into the zone it goes. Tavares into the forecheck. Puck comes up on the wing, and Appleton will backhand to the Toronto blue line.
Leafs have not lost consecutive games at home all season, so are in danger of doing that.
Played to center ice. McCabe got it in over the line. Linesman says it's offside, though. And down to 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and we'll keep an eye on Joseph Woll and see when Craig Berube may want to go with the extra tackle, which hasn't really been overly beneficial to the Leafs this year.
A lot of shorthand, or a lot of empty net goals against. Remember, there were
two of them were shorthanded.
2 of them in Pittsburgh were shorthanded, yeah.
Jets win the face-off. Colin Miller got it into neutral ice. Puck retrieved by the Maple Leafs. And now played ahead and deflected in by Robertson. Down the left wing boards comes David Camp. Camp into the corner with Pacioretty. Pacioretty dug it free, works around back of the net. Forced wide by Scheifele. Pacioretty over there getting it freed up again. Tried to poke it back of the goal. Robertson now trying to center, but it's intercepted. Cleared to the line, but not out. Kept alive by Pacioretty. Closing and doesn't shoot it. Had it knocked off his stick as it goes around to Robertson. Robertson back of the goal, still with it. Saucers it off to the defensive shot. Looking for a redirection in front of the net, and it went just wide. Ekman Larsson in the near corner. Cross-check from behind, and both officials are standing there with their whistles in the pockets. And then Ekman Larsson decides to take matters into his own hands and nails Colin Miller. Leafs keep the puck in, though. Set to an open corner. Pionk taken to the boards. Couple of Leafs in there. Centering pass came out in front, but there was a Winnipeg Jet there, and as Connor just flipping it into the Toronto zone as he gets to center. 3:14 to go, and Woll most certainly will be heading out here if the Leafs get it up into the neutral zone. But an errant pass kept alive by Winnipeg on the far boards, sent in around back of the net. That comes free, and now with skating room to his liking, Max Domi gets to center. Rink-wide pass brought in by Myers. Linesman says someone was in ahead of that, and it's offside, and Woll remains in the crease down to our right.
Really has not been a lot of offense in this game, has there? I know we've got 6 goals up on the board, but it seems like the best opportunities for the most part have gone in.
24-23 the shots favoring Winnipeg.
We really haven't had either team with long stretches of offensive zone time. 3 of the Winnipeg Jet goals have come off the rush. Each team scored a power play goal.
Lorenz with Dewar. And Pontus Holmberg out there for Toronto now. And that's not exactly the group you think is going to score a goal to make things close.
Maybe that's why Wall's still in the net.
And it is shot down wide of Wall. Icing, and that's enough rest.
Yeah, now the big boys back over the boards. Leafs still have their timeout as well.
Wall heading for the bench.
And we got usual suspects. Well, Bobby McMahon is out.
As the extra.
As well.
Nylander, Marner, Tavares, Wall, McMahon. Riley. And the draw won by Winnipeg, played to the line, kept in by Toronto on the far boards and into the corner. Tavares couldn't come up with it. Morrissey gets it around into the near corner. Leafs trying to get there with numbers. Get it back to the blue line. Marner trying to keep it in. Does. The puck still free. Good play by McMahon to maintain possession as he plays to the far corner for Nyes. Nyes plays it around back of the net. Jets trying to free it up, and it comes back to the blue line, and Riley can get it stretched out a little bit. Marner off the boards from Nylander, around back of the net it goes. Tavares far half boards. He has both of the Leaf goals. Back to the point to Marner. Down into the corner it goes. Looking for a man in front. A centering pass. That was blocked. The rebound. Tavares coming out in front. Rolled it to the side of the goal. It stopped. Nylander holds and back to the blue line. Kept in by the skate of Marner. Near side Nylander shooting. Blockered into the corner nicely with the stick there by Hellebuck. Puck still free in the near corner. Around on the far side. Tavares will free it up for Riley. Back to Tavares, but he gave the puck away, and an empty net try is deflected by Marner down into the corner. 1:18 though left in the third period. Tavares up ahead for Matthew Nyes. Pass onto the wing, didn't make contact with Riley. And the Jets get it back out into the center ice area. Scheifele trying to send it to an empty net, but it was backhanded wide of the goal. Less than a minute to go in the third. Long lead pass brought in by Nyes. Nyes holds it up. The Leafs need to get shots to the net, and they don't get it there as it comes to center. They'll try again off Nyes. Grabbed off again and sent out at center ice. Turnover again, but played back into the Toronto zone, and a lead pass gets to center and across the line for Tavares. Tried to load up a shot, but had it knocked off his stick before he could deliver it. And with less than a half minute to go in the third period, the Jets get it to Scheifele. Scheifele looking for the empty net, still with it, and fires it into the goal. The hat-trick goal for the assistant captain from Kitchener.
And remember, it was 6 games ago between these two clubs that Mark Scheifele had made the comments that nothing's better than beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs then won 6 in a row, but Scheifele with his third goal, fourth point on the night, is probably thinking right now there's nothing better than beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. As this will end that 6-game losing streak against Toronto.
So Scheifele has had a great afternoon. 21 goals on the season. And the hat trick here, as time is just going to be allowed to run out.
Kyle Connor is going to pick up an assist, so both players with 4-point nights. Toss set the 2 goals scored by John Tavares.
Don't think we've seen a team from the West any better.
No, well, I mean, they didn't look as good when the Leafs were out there earlier.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is the Leafs have gotten back into that mode. We saw it against Buffalo. We saw it against the Islanders, giving up chances of goals off the rush. And when they had that long stretch where they were good, and we praised their defensive play, and goals against were down, and shot chances were down, and rush chances were down, it's flipped. And you know you're going to have blips, but it seems like it now in trying to create offense. they're giving up opportunities the other way. Anyway, 3 stars tonight, Joe.
Yes, all right. And they are brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Well, we'll go 3rd star, John Tavares. 5 goals in 2 games against the Jets. 2 goals, not enough tonight in the loss. Star number 3, star number 2. I mean, this was flip a coin up until the empty netter by Scheifele, but their big guys come through. Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele. Kyle Connor, 2 goals, 4 points on the night, star number 2. Mark Scheifele, 3-goal, 4-point night for the Winnipeg Jet captain is star number 1.
Have a great Christmas, my buddy. Enjoy your time with family
Joey,
and friends. And I want to thank Keith Pelly again and Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment for really having our Christmas present unwrapped here today with young David Charles doing the second period and doing such a great job.
And also to our friends Andrew Holland, Armin Zagarian, their families,
and
the Cuthberts.
Yeah, and Andrew Adams back at the shop. And
Ailish as well.
Yes, everybody have a great, safe, and happy Christmas and enjoy a few days off. And then we will Zoom on Friday in Detroit when the Leafs tangle with the Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. So we will step aside. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert to take you home with the postgame show as the Maple Leafs fall 5-2 to the Winnipeg Jets. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Every fantasy football player has a...
Insiders, thank you for hanging out with us today in Next Generation game that the Leafs were sleeping in. Ooh, that was not a pretty hockey game at all, but it was a great day. Tom is here. What's up, buddy? It's Next Generation Day. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, sure. I don't really know what that means, but okay.
Okay, so yeah, the Leafs, Joe Bowen's son, David, called the second period during the game today because of his Next Generation Day. So, you're like my next generation, so you need to, study and get smarter.
So pretty much, the queen, if the queen dies, the next
we're not talking about people dying.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Pretty much like that.
Oh, my God, Thomas Michael. Thank you all for hanging out with us today. Leave it to the children. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Veronica, Andrew, Brad, Brenda, Johan, Andrew again, Brandy, Gale. There you go, Brandy. Have fun today. The rest of your day. It's early there in California. And Brenda J., thank you for hanging out with us. Merry Christmas, Brenda. We'll see you guys. Next stream is the Raptors. Don't forget, Jelly's highlights are coming up, so make sure to watch for those. I'll put the link out in the chat, and we'll see you guys for the Raptors game tonight before a nice Christmas break. Can't wait. Taking a couple days off for Christmas. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Really fun.
All right. Peace.
The SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only 2 players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome into Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Schwarfar and Justin Cuthbert getting you set for a little post-game action here at Scotiabank Arena before we send it to Kipper and Stellick for Kipper and Bourne tonight on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. It's a 5-2 victory for the Winnipeg Jets at our next generation game here right before the holidays.
Well, we know it's going to be a Merry Christmas for the Shifley family.
Oh,
not a natural hat trick, but 3 goals in the third period for Shifley, who is the one who coined the "there's nothing better," right, than beating the Maple Leafs. So he gets to do that a couple days before Christmas. He's a local kid, so maybe he's just driving down the 401 in the snow to family Christmas this year. So I'm assuming. You know, we know the Bowen family is going to be having a good Christmas. I think the Shifley family, Bowen family, I think it's a toss-up in terms of best Christmas, or at least vibes heading into Christmas.
There were a lot of people cheering for that Shifley, goal 1, 2, and 3. I think they had, because we're in press row, the kind of the corner, and I think he might have had a section there because there was a loud roar coming for his goals.
Big True North during the anthem, too.
Really
loud. So,
is
a
this
decent
a
contingent here in terms of Winnipeg
rivalry?
fans. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a rivalry. It was hotter a couple years ago, I think. Certainly during the North Division, it was interesting. There's been some bloodshed. There's been some dramatics. Yeah. These two teams have gone at it, and it's maybe cooled a bit, but certainly the Jets and the Jets fans were up for this one.
So a Shifley hat trick. 2 goals by Kyle Connor and 2 goals by John Tavares. Imagine that payout. That's
good one. Good night for multi-goal scorers.
Man, if you had that parlay, you'd be buying Santa.
You'd be having a better Christmas than the Bowens and Shifleys.
You could buy Santa's workshop.
You could.
Okay, so a couple things to go through tonight. Let's start with John Tavares because he gets the Leafs both their goals tonight. One on the power play and one walking down Main Street there to kind of make it a closer game. Final score isn't as telling as it felt for a little bit of that stretch when they were pushing, but it's been an amazing season for John Tavares. We mentioned it earlier in the second intermission. He got that goal 200 with the Leafs today, so he's at 201 now, and he's the fifth player in NHL history. So think about how many players there are with 200 goals for 2 different franchises, and the other 4. Wayne Gretzky, Lanny McDonald, Mark Messier, and Keith Tkachuk. It's a pretty unbelievable class to be a part of. 200-plus goals with at least 2 different franchises. And he looks like he's not seeing any signs of slowing down for John Tavares.
No, certainly we had him earmarked for that milestone at some point this season, but I think probably people thought it was maybe reserved for late January, even February, taking 17th goal on the season already in 34 games, 2 tonight. He's on a hot streak with points in 5 straight, 5 goals and 4 assists in that span, 34 and 34 in terms of points. He's just been fantastic. And there are a lot of forceful things, there are a lot of things that the Leafs do well and that other players in this league do especially well. But when he's got a steam behind him and he's heading towards the net, it is one of the most powerful things that you see, at least from the Maple Leafs. There's a magnetic pull that takes him right to the front of the net, and it feels like he can't be stopped when he can get some steam behind him with the puck headed towards goal. It just looks a bit different, and we saw that certainly on his second goal tonight. There's certain skills, right, that guys have on this team. Marner passing the shot when healthy for Austin Matthews, but when Tavares can get his head down and go straight to the paint, it just feels like it's undeniable at that point. That's what we saw. It's like Giannis. It's just
he's kind of like Giannis.
Head down and boom, it's going to the back of the net. Right when he had that lane, it looked like nothing was going to stop him.
What'd you make of the line combinations that the Maple Leafs went with today? Because let's say there's no Austin Matthews moving forward. And as a reminder, our next game and our next Sportsnet 590 fan broadcast is Friday night against the Detroit Red Wings, which is the start of a back-to-back where they play the Capitals at home on Saturday night. Matt, I like Nyes, Tavares, and Marner, but I didn't see as much I wanted to see from Robertson, Domi, and Nylander. Maybe Nylander took that 5-minute shift that really tired him out, but it felt like he was doing a little bit more of the Nylander loop-de-doops that the uncles will be yelling about from the sofa tonight.
Sure. I mean, I didn't mind Nylander's game. It was a beautiful backhand cross-ice pass that helped set up the Tavares goal, and that didn't happen, of course, with Domi and Robertson. It happened with John Tavares. So I think that's important to underscore. It just feels like, we've talked about this a lot where Nylander can score and he can be effective no matter who he's playing with, but it felt like tonight he was on a bit of an island trying to do a little bit too much, trying to pick up the slack, and it had some good situations, had some bad situations. It was a very typical Nylander game in that there was a lot of brilliance, and there were a couple moments where like, come on.
That's right.
It just feels like, with maybe more ice time, more of a focus, not having Austin Matthews, and the fact that a lot just runs through the three guys who are core four members in the absence of Matthews. It just felt like a lot of the spotlight was on him, and it continues to just like put us in this have and have not world where there's a couple guys who you're really relying on, especially in a game like tonight, and then there's guys who aren't giving you anything, able to give you anything, and it just felt like 2.5 lines didn't have much to offer tonight. Like Pacioretty didn't have a great game, wasn't really involved, didn't see much from Bobby McMahon, didn't see much from the depths of the lineup. It just felt like, Nylander was trying, and Tavares had his moments, and it wasn't a sharp night from Mitch Marner, and add all that up, and it's not going to be enough to outpace a team like the Winnipeg Jets.
But it might have to be enough for the next little while, which is the part that I think we continue to circle back on, is the depth scoring. There was this, there's an opportunity maybe that Austin Matthews doesn't play for the next little bit, and that's up to how this maybe 3 days goes without any Maple Leafs games, and if he decides that there's a better opportunity to take an LTIR stint or just an IR stint or just take some time away, they need to find ways to generate more, because John Tavares getting both goals tonight. It's either him or Marner or Nylander as of late, but with some good scoring that we saw from Bobby McMahon, Max Domi, and Nick Robertson together, like that line really worked well. Maybe we go back to that just to see if that third line has that, I don't know if it was chemistry or good fortune where they were all trying to prove something. It's going to be interesting how they try to find depth, because Lorentz hasn't been scoring, Holmberg hasn't been scoring, Dewar hasn't been scoring, Camp isn't scoring. You're kind of limited in terms of finding offensive production. And I mean, I know tonight they're playing the Vezina favorite in Connor Hellebuyck, but you're going to need to find ways to not just have your top three guys scoring.
Yeah, and there are other key absences that underscore the need for goal scoring. The Toronto Maple Leafs are without their number one goaltender in Anthony Stolarz, and they're without their number one defenseman. And I know that's normally reserved for Morgan Riley, but it's Chris Tanev is the most important guy on the back end and has been this season for the Maple Leafs. So it's less convincing from a blue line standpoint. It's certainly less convincing from a goaltending standpoint, which means you might need an extra half goal on average per game, and you're trying to do that without Austin Matthews and what is, a reasonably depleted, again, have and have not world up front. But the Stolarz absence is big. I think the Tanev absence might actually be more important than Matthews. But look at the goaltending since Stolarz went down. Woll gave up 3 in the first game. Hildeby gave up 3 in the next game. Woll gave up 3 in the next game. Murray then 3 in the next game. 5 for Woll on Saturday night versus the Islanders. 4 for Woll in a game where they added an empty netter, that being the Jets tonight. So I don't know what that average is, but it's like almost 4 goals per game. When prior to the Stolarz injury, the Leafs were giving up 2.57 goals per game. So again, that's a goal and a half nearly that you're worse from a goaltending standpoint. And again, this is a small sample, but Stolarz was the stopper. Stolarz has a start, and you're going to get a good performance. Then Wall would follow that up, and it was like this constant feedback loop. But without that, maybe the Leafs are going to be a little leakier, which means you got to score more. And they're not even close to it at this point because they're missing their number one goal scorer. So it's a bit of a problem right now, and there are a couple absences that loom pretty large here headed into the holiday break.
Yeah, I guess when you lay it out that way, you mean they're missing their number one offensive threat in Austin Matthews. They're missing their number one defensive shutdown.
At least for tonight,
in Tanev, and they're missing their number one goaltender in Anthony Stolarz. So, hopefully the Tanev thing is just tonight. It was a last-minute scratch. We didn't know about it until they announced it, basically when the puck was dropping. So let's just say that one's hopefully a quick turnaround. And Armin can let us know if he sees any information post-game as Berube and them are talking. So that one we'll put a hopeful on. But we know that Stolarz is out 4 to 6 weeks, and we know that Austin Matthews has the option. We've seen it. He went to a different country to help rehabilitate what's going on with his injury. So that could be something, maybe that's week to week, whatever that means for you. they got to find a way. They got to find a way to go through these injuries, but at the same time, there's a pretty significant injuries, and they've been really great without Austin Matthews, and they can find a way to get a little bit more from Joseph Woll. But my next point is, like, this next stretch of hockey, there's a lot of games. How many games in a row can you be relying heavily on Woll, knowing his injury history? It's not just a normal a 1A, 1B goaltender. This is a 1A, 1B goaltender that has his own injury concerns. The very first game of the season, he had his injury concerns. So you don't want to be looking at too much of a workload for Woll, but you also want to figure out if it's Hildeby or Murray, because there might be a stretch of hockey here for the next, let's say, month, where you're going to see some back-to-backs and you're going to see some. So I don't know if you feel more comfortable with Hildeby or with Murray, but we're going to see them come January for sure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Woll here. A lot of pressure on him to be that stopper, to play the Stolarz role in some ways, while Stolarz is unavailable. I do want to highlight, and underscore the Tanev absence too. Like, let's hope there's some positive news there, because as much as you don't really notice Chris Tanev from game to game, shift to shift, so on and so forth, like, I felt like I saw Philippe Myers out there the entire game. And without Tanev,
felt that way too.
You see a lot of Myers, you see a lot of Timmins, you see a lot of Benoit. Those three are, to say it mildly, unconvincing in big spots. And so you're not really that confident about three of your six defensemen. Morgan Riley's not had a great year. Puts a lot of pressure on McCabe and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who are playing already probably slightly beyond what they are best suited for, which is some complementary defensive hockey. So they're stretched a little bit, this Leafs team here in the midst of a busy schedule.
Well, maybe the break's coming at the right time.
Perhaps.
There's a couple key injuries and maybe some beat-up bodies here that need an option to rehabilitate. Okay, quickly, NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. You got to go quick.
Yeah, I got to boogie through this. Devils beat the Rangers 5-0 in embarrassing fashion earlier today. The only other games are still to come. Canadiens and Blue Jackets, Lightning and Panthers, Capitals and Bruins, Blues and Red Wings, Sabres and Islanders, Flyers and Penguins, Hurricanes and Predators, Blackhawks and Wild, Stars and Utah, Sharks, Canucks, and the last one is Ducks, Golden Knights tonight.
All right, our next Sportsnet 590, the Fan Molson Leafs hockey broadcast is Friday night, 7 p.m. versus Detroit. Nick Kyprios and Gord Seller are going to take the game, break it down a little further on Kipper and Bourne coming up next on Sportsnet 590, the Fan. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all our listeners. Thanks for hanging in on us for the last couple of months.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Enjoy a little bit of time, and we'll see you Friday night. You've been listening to Sportsnet 590, the Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
EO Charlie Lyons was on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, with Steve Kouleas to discuss what it was like successfully keeping Joe Sakic in Colorado in 1997 during a chaotic 7-day time frame.
That all this, Charlie, comes together
in 7 days. Like this isn't one moving part. Like if we get the Fox deal done, it's done. If the movie does really well, we'll borrow from the future, even though that wasn't the best thing, as you alluded to, from the movie company. Or the mayor says, yeah, we're gonna do that. Like they could have said, it's August. We'll talk after Labor Day. So what's incredible,
everybody knew,
right? That you got it done that quickly, which is it's hard to do one deal in 5 business days, let alone the 7 you dealt with.
You know, in the movie business, I make this point in the documentary. One of the things that keeps an audience engaged is if the clock is ticking. You know, find the person that's been kidnapped, disable the bomb, stop the terrorist, get to the stage on time so you can get up and do your stand-up comedy when the audience is waiting. The ticking clock makes people realize we don't have time to screw around. We got to fix this and do it right now. So that was, in many ways, as miserable it was for, and particularly with my team, because I had a great team, you know, but they did the heavy lifting because in essence, we had to do everything on handshakes. You're not going to get everything documented, but you're talking about the most honorable parties on earth, the mayor, Fox, Liberty Media. When they shake your hand, it's gold. And so we got it all done and here we are.
What was it like this is 1997, so no e-transfers. What was it like to tell the Rangers, to quote a song, to take this and shove it? Who made the call and said, by the way, here's the check for Joe Sakic, bye-bye, NYC?
Well, Pierre went to Joe's house and delivered the money. I got up with Liberty and Fox and the mayor at City Hall, and we announced the arena deal, Fox and Liberty. And we were coordinated. It was choreographed. And then I was a speechwriter when I was a kid. And I had the blessing to do some work for the governor of New York when he was vice president, Nelson Rockefeller. And he had that famous picture where he was being heckled and he offered his opinion of that. And that picture of him flipping the bird was, I figured, a nice gift to send Dave Checketts, who was a good friend of mine, by the way.
I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, December the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., New Jersey Devils take on the New York Rangers. Devils on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 936. Rangers on Internet 938. 2 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs face the Winnipeg Jets. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Jets on Internet 951. 7 p.m., Boston Bruins face the Washington Capitals. Bruins on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 921. Capitals on Internet 950. 7 p.m. Columbus Blue Jackets face the Montreal Canadiens. Jackets on Sirius 211, XM 222, and Internet 927. Canadiens on Internet 934. 7 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins face the Philadelphia Flyers. Penguins on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 941. Flyers on Internet 940. 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings face the St. Louis Blues. Red Wings on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 929. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m. Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Lightning on Internet 945. 7:30 p.m. New York Islanders face the Buffalo Sabres. Islanders on XM 223, Internet 937. Sabres on Internet 922. 8 p.m. Nashville Predators take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Predators on XM 201, Internet 935. Hurricanes on Internet 924. 8 p.m. Minnesota Wild face the Chicago Blackhawks. Wild on XM 202, Internet 933. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 9 p.m. Vancouver Canucks face the San Jose Sharks. Canucks on XM 203 Internet 948, Sharks on Internet 942. 9 p.m., Utah Hockey Club face the Dallas Stars. Utah on XM 204 Internet 947, Stars on Internet 928. 10 p.m., Vegas Golden Knights take on the Anaheim Ducks. Knights on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 949, Ducks on Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
Former owner of the Colorado Avalanche, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Joe Sakic from joining the New York Rangers back in '97, and he stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio with Steve Koulias to talk about how a little film called Air Force One helped him feel more confident in the face of this chaos and keep Sakic.
Okay. Coincident with that, we were releasing Air Force One. I had another company, Beacon Communications, run by two terrific film producers, Armin Bernstein and Mark Abraham. And we had decided to make a big movie. There's no guarantee how those things work out, but everything came together. Wolfgang Peterson, Harrison Ford, terrific script by Andrew Marlowe. And it was pure joy. And it came out and it was one of the most successful movies of all time, leading R-rated release in history. So you're feeling kind of good about things. And what that did was it created some confidence when you get cold-cocked like this. A really successful organization, Jim Cronin, Art Aaron, Tim Romani, who built Kaminsky Park, to sort of huddle and say, okay, what do we do with this? Do we want 5 draft picks? What are we going to do without Joe? Well, that was an idiot test, right? What are you going to do without Joe? You're going to end up in the toilet. And Joe was, somebody that Pierre saw as a potential successor for him when he was no longer interested in being the president of the team. And so there was so much at stake. In essence, what you do, you bang around like a pinball for about 3 days trying to figure out where the restroom is. But then you get your act together and you say, okay, well, let's not waste this crisis. What would we need to do to put ourselves, the company, in the best position to feel smart about matching this offer? And the answer was pretty simple. You're not going to take money from the film company and pay a professional athlete, say, thanks for, you've grown up, Beacon, you've done a great job, and as a prize, we're going to take all your money away and play a hockey player. That wouldn't happen. But what that did is it allowed me to pick up the phone and call the mayor and say, hey, Wellington, look, let's finish the arena deal, because in order to sell to all of our free agents a vision about what Denver sports and Colorado sports can be, we should be in a state-of-the-art venue. And we've got all the pieces in place to do that. Let's finish that deal. That'll send a message. And these things we're haggling over, I need them to pay Joe Sakic and keep the team together. We've got to be able to put a respectable product on the ice. Number 2, great corporate partner, Liberty Media. They're legendary in the media business. And to reach out to them and say, look, now we have the arena. We've got these 2 teams and things are relatively stable. How would you like to invest in a small piece? And not coincidentally, the exact number that we need to match this offer. So I'm padding, our resources. And then the final piece, which was the one we were pretty confident we could get done. We didn't know if we could get any of it done, but we were confident we might get this last one done, is that Fox wanted to re-up with the Avalanche and the Nuggets. So to cement them for a long period of time and maybe recalibrate the rights payment so we got more up front, again, improving, that gave us the strength to then turn around on day 7 and say, oops, sorry, you stand.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, December the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., New Jersey Devils take on the New York Rangers. Devils on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 936. Rangers on Internet 938. 2 p.m. Toronto Maple Leafs face the Winnipeg Jets. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Jets on Internet 951. 7 p.m. Boston Bruins face the Washington Capitals. Bruins on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 921. Capitals on Internet 950. 7 p.m. Columbus Blue Jackets face the Montreal Canadiens. Jackets on Sirius 211 XM 222 and Internet 927. Canadiens on Internet 934. 7 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins face the Philadelphia Flyers. Penguins on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 941. Flyers on Internet 940. 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings face the St. Louis Blues. Red Wings on Sirius 209 XM 220 and Internet 929. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m. Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Lightning on Internet 945. 7:30 p.m. New York Islanders face the Buffalo Sabres. Islanders on XM 223, Internet 937. Sabres on Internet 922. 8 p.m. Nashville Predators take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Predators on XM 201, Internet 935. Hurricanes on Internet 924. 8 p.m. Minnesota Wild face the Chicago Blackhawks. Wild on XM 202, Internet 933. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 9 p.m. Vancouver Canucks face the San Jose Sharks. Canucks on XM 203, Internet 948. Sharks on Internet 942. 9 p.m. Utah Hockey Club face the Dallas Stars. Utah on XM 204, Internet 947. Stars on Internet 928. 10 p.m. Vegas Golden Knights take on the Anaheim Ducks. Knights on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 949. Ducks on Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
In the summer of 1997, the New York Rangers tried to sign away Joe Sakic from the Colorado Avalanche, and owner of the Avs at that time, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Sakic. Stopping by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91, Lyons was on to talk with Steve Kouleas from the Power Play about his initial reaction to the news of New York offering Sakic $15 million up front in their deal.
I remember the summer of 1997. The Rangers have offer sheeted Joe Sakic. It's a 3-year deal, $21 million, $15 million up front. I remember that part. Joining us now is Charlie Lyons, the Avs CEO. The big honcho at the time joins me on the Power Play. So where were you, Charlie, when you first heard the news? Did you fall off your chair?
Well, I didn't fall off my chair, but I left my heart in San Francisco. The phone rang. It was Mark Kisla, who terrific journalist that was always sort of ahead of stories. And he said, "Hey, what do you think about the offer sheet for Joe Sakic for $21 million with 15 up front? How you doing?" Your mind goes to, he's obviously kidding. He wants something else, but he wasn't kidding. And so, it's a punch. I was getting ready to go on vacation, so that's the right time to slam somebody. And that's what it was. So I was a neighbor, my dear friend Pierre Lacroix, collaborator, lived across the cul-de-sac. So we met at the center of the cul-de-sac, and he just gave me this look like, wow, who'da thunk? And then, what are you going to do? What's your plan, big guy? Because that's a lot of money. 30 years ago, that kind of contract was destabilizing, to say the least.